Again, Vladimir Putin embarking on his sixth term as Russia's president.
What was said at the Kremlin may not be what it really seems. The way Vladimir Putin came to power, a lot of people would hesitate to call it an election. When Vladimir Putin read his presidential oath, his right hand was on the Russian constitution. But if you open that book, it lists various freedoms and rights that don't really exist in Russia anymore. Under Vladimir Putin's rule, what the constitution says has very little to do with real life in Russia.
The BBC's Vitaly Shevchenko. Pakistan's military says a suicide bombing that killed 5 Chinese engineers and a Pakistani driver in March was planned in neighboring Afghanistan, and that the bomber was an Afghan citizen. 4 men accused of plotting the attack are under arrest. News and analysis at townhall.com. Former President Trump accusing President Biden of offering only a tepid response to the anti-Semitism that's surging on many American college campuses.
The latest example came over the weekend when Mr. Trump, accusing the White House of having a role in his multiple state and federal criminal prosecutions, told Republican donors gathered for a private retreat at his Florida resort that Mr. Biden is running a, quote, Gestapo administration, referring to the secret police force of Nazi Germany. Mr. Trump and other Republicans have seized on the disruptions on college campuses, which have at times been violent, as a sign of weakness from Mr. Biden and Democrats. Mr. Trump's campaign on Monday released a video on Yom HaShoah, Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day, that aimed to contrast the 2024 presidential candidates' responses on anti-Semitism. I'm Bernie Bennett.
And former President Trump returns to a Manhattan courtroom this morning under a fresh threat of jail if he tries to defend himself in public by speaking out. Mr. Trump remains under the court-imposed gag order. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Just the happiest.
It's sunny out.
Yeah.
Gonna be another warm. We got a red flag warning, wind day, but sunny.
I'm so sick of wind.
Yeah.
I know it's springtime in southeastern Mexico. It's to be expected, but my God, I'm just tired of it.
Well, the best is yet to come.
Oh, I know. I'm fully aware.
But happy Tuesday.
Why can't you keep your yard clean? It's debris. It shows up. I keep picking it up, and it just keeps on showing up.
Putting it down.
It's like strays. You do stuff with them, and they just keep on showing up. Hey.
So, I watched the entire roast yesterday of Tom Brady.
Yes.
On Netflix. And it was pretty funny.
Yeah?
It's pretty funny. It's a roast. So if you go in thinking, man, those people are mean, it's a roast.
Well, they're supposed to be, yeah. That's the point.
Well, some people forget that part of roast, and they cut dirty in there, and it's pretty funny.
I heard there were a couple that went a little bit too far.
A little bit. Well, it got... Because of some of the people involved in the roasting, that's why. When you got Robert Kraft and you got, the coach, it's kind of... And these people are not in that world.
There should be a level of reverence left, or set for those people. But
so,
you're in the roast, world.
Yeah.
You step up to the dais, you're going to get put down.
Well, there was only one time in the whole roast where I saw anything where someone's like, "No, stop that."
Now, I will say the look on Tom Brady's face.
Yeah.
When because they cut the joke basically was made, essentially. Tom Brady's the entire reason the Patriots franchise, he made the franchise essentially. And then that was followed up with, would you like a massage?
Yeah.
And Tom Brady's face, he was all smiling and he goes,
and Robert Kraft was in the audience, by the way.
And he walked over to Jeffrey Ross and whispered in his ear, don't you say that crap again. But it was right next to the mic, so everybody heard it. I was waiting for the Will Smith moment. Pow! Keep Robert Kraft's name out your mouth.
It was Jeff Ross was the one who was doing it. And
the Roastmaster General.
Yes. Who is kind of a co-host for this one. Kevin Hart was the host.
Okay.
But Jeff Ross kind of helped him quite a bit. There would be segments where Jeff would announce it or host it or something like. But they also had a couple other people who did that throughout the broadcast too. So, but yeah, and you heard Jeff Ross right away, like okay, and then
he's like, yep, noted.
And what's
man with 4% body fat? Absolutely, whatever you say.
Well, and what's kind of funny is right after that is when Jeff Ross is done, Kevin Hart gets back up, and Jeff Ross goes over and talks, and they kind of hug with Tom Brady or whatever. So I'm assuming he's like, I'm sorry, man, whatever. That in that moment,
right?
And Kevin comes back and walks by them, and then goes to the podium, and he's like, "Man, Jeff, you just look at you all." And then he says some things that I can't say on the radio, but brown nosing. We'll go in that general direction of brown nosing.
Of course.
But it's pretty funny.
Well, it wasn't roses he was smelling.
Right.
We understand. But you kind of have to. Now, that's the thing, though. Jeff Ross has always been one of those that, he just gets away with it.
Yeah.
He's going to say some really messed up stuff, but it's all in the, in
presentation.
It's all for the comedy's sake.
Sure.
He's not saying anything to be hurtful. And none of these people are. They're literally just, this is for the laugh.
Yeah.
We all already know these established stereotypes about people. Now let's all have a laugh about it.
I think at the end of the day, the whole roast idea is kind of a comedian's mental health session.
Yeah.
That's what those are meant
for.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
To be a fly on the wall and see it is awesome. But if you're not in that world or understand that world or understand how that works, then it may not make sense to you. And so that's why people like Robert Kraft and stuff, they may watch roast on TV, but they don't really get what a roast is for.
One of my favorite stories, and they don't have it anymore because the Comedy Cellar is closed down, but you used to hear about the table, at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
There was a table in the back. It was on the second floor, and it had perfect view of the stage, but all the old heads would go and sit at this table. You got your, Carlin would go and post up there. Louis C.K. would post up there. You'd have, all your old, 90s and early 2000s comics. And then to be invited to the table as a young up and coming comic was a huge deal.
Sure.
But the whole time, it's just a roast. They're sitting there just busting each other open. That's just what comics do.
And I'm pretty sure the Friars Club roast is kind of
born
all
off
this
of that.
all evolved from and things. Those originally weren't meant for camera's eyes.
No.
And it was a private club with a private thing, and they did it. And then, the Dean Martin and all that started putting some cameras in the room. And then
you'd be hard pressed to find footage of Don Rickles at a old Friars Club roast that would be suitable for TV today.
Exactly. And so part of that is taking a tradition that's not meant for the public and now is in the public. Now, don't get me wrong. I love it. I watch it, but sometimes we got to remember the roasts aren't for us.
Right.
And you got to
comics
remember
being
that.
comics for comics.
Yeah, exactly.
But that being said, I did appreciate quite a few of the self jabs.
Yeah.
I will say this, and I all due respect, I'm not a fan of hers. Kim Kardashian actually came out smelling like a rose on this one. I really love the fact that she took a dig at her own father. That's great. She said something to the effect of, I would love to stand in defense of Tom Brady, but my family has a bad history of defending football players.
Well, I would argue, and I think if you talk to most of the comics that night, the comedian that probably killed it the best or got the most reaction, Nikki Glaser.
Yeah?
Nikki Glaser nailed that roast. She was point.
I haven't seen the whole dais, but I would say besides Jeff, maybe she has the most roast experience.
Yeah.
Because she's been in quite a few since
Kevin's obviously got quite a
he's done a couple, but Glazer's one of those like what's the name of the comedian? His name just escaped. Anthony Jeselnik.
Oh yeah.
Like one of those like him who just kind of just shows up at the roast.
He wasn't at this one.
Right. But he's has like 17 or 18 under his belt. Same thing with Nikki Glaser. She's done a ton of these.
And to be honest, as far as there was mostly football players and the like that because of half the teammates of the Patriots over the years were there with them.
I haven't seen it yet, but all I heard was Gronk does not know how to roast. He was just trying to hype the crowd.
Well, Gronk was Gronk.
Yeah.
And with Gronk, and that's the whole joke. He's dumb and he played that. He played Gronk. He played the character of Gronk perfectly.
Is Larry Zonka still alive? Because if he is, I was going to say they should really do a Zonk and Gronk.
Well, Larry Zonka and Gronkowski do not have the same personality.
No, they do not. I just saw a commercial. Let's see. He's still
with us? Okay.
Still around.
I thought he'd passed.
We played the Is-Was game. No.
You know what we just did, though?
Huh.
We're going to see him. You know what?
I know.
Later today, we're going to be on Facebook.
It's going to happen next hour.
We've done this more
than one time. Somebody go check on Larry Zonka.
We are so sorry.
Okay.
I apologize in advance, but we have a history here.
All right. Now, our collective bad. I really hope that doesn't happen.
Me too. I hope. Please break that cycle.
I saw a 70s commercial with Larry Zonka for the like Gillette twin blade razor or whatever, where you had to get silky smooth for the ladies.
6 blades now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was something where I saw some show where they were talking about. Oh, it was the show Ghosts on CBS.
Mm-hmm.
One of the episodes recently was one of the ghosts found that apparently each ghost has a superpower that some know, some don't, but they're not like that. Like one can make a fart smell. Make a room smell like farts. That's a superpower. But this one guy found out his superpower was he could leave the property. Like, they're kind of like geofenced in their little...
Right.
Find out he could leave. And so he starts wandering about town and everything. And he goes, wow, 5 razor blades? Holy cow. And he was from like the 80s. So he only had like 2. But anyway, that's what reminded me of that. So... let me give you the rundown. We do have a full slate for you for today's show. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined by Mark Green with Harvest Ministries, also Amelia Benavidez with the United States Postal Service. This Saturday is their annual Letter Carriers Food Drive.
Yes.
So we're asking folks to leave non-perishable food items out by your mailbox on Saturday so your letter carriers can swing on by and grab that, and it all goes to Harvest Ministries. But we'll talk all about that here with those two in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Peggy Boland with Camp Invention is going to join us, as that's coming up here next month.
Yep.
Next month.
Wow,
June.
next month. There's still time to sign up with the discount, I believe, through the 15th of this month.
Yeah, I believe it. But we'll get all that with Peggy here in the 8 o'clock hour. And then folks with the Chaves County Health Council will join us in the 9 o'clock hour. They also usually bring a guest with them that provides some kind of services or something for the public. So we'll talk with them here about 9:15 this morning.
There you go.
Plus, we'll have all the features of the newses of the local, national, variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Indeed.
So, don't forget, we will have playoff baseball for you this weekend. Goddard. Of course, they'll have their best of 3 Friday night, and then Saturday, 1, maybe 2 games if necessary. And we'll have those for you right here on the radio on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. We are still negotiating for video rights and all that for this first round of the playoffs. The games will be here at home at Goddard.
Yep.
So get out to the ballpark, but we'll have the games for you on the radio for sure.
That's right.
I will let you know whether we get permissions to do it for the video side.
And the best thing to do is take the radio out to the game, so you get the play-by-play and you get the action.
Yes.
It's a little delayed, but you know what? You can use your imagination.
Yeah, well, if it's on the radio, it should be pretty on point.
It's pretty close. There's like a 4 or 5 second delay.
If you do it on the internet, it's about 30 seconds delay, depending on your internet connection there.
But if you stand up in the middle of the game and go, "Hey, hold on!"
Yeah.
All right, we're good. And yeah, it'll catch up.
Of course, if we could get in the future, then you could bet. But got to reverse that. So.
Yeah, we don't really have time. But I read something the other day that Dave & Buster's is going to allow people to start betting on games in the Dave & Buster's. So, like,
Really?
you can place a bet on, like, if you're playing somebody at skee ball or basketball, you can put money on the table for the games now.
And so Vegas vacation begins.
That's right. This is how it starts. The dystopian reality with which we will experience.
We're betting on Guess My Number here in just a bit.
War. Let's do this.
It's coming, folks. All right.
Flip cup.
7, 8. Oh. All right, 7:18. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm temperatures for the next couple of days, and the wind will be a little gusty today, especially around Carlsbad and Artesia, up to 45 miles an hour. Wind at 10 to 25 miles an hour around the Roswell area. For the overnight hours, clear and windy. We're in the upper 50s. Looks like upper 80s, sunny, and a little bit breezy on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 18%, hence the reason for the red flag warning today. Winds currently out of the south at 7 miles per hour. Red flag warning expected or is kicking in at 11 o'clock today. That will remain in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. For today, we are looking at sunny skies and highs near 90, 89 officially. West winds 5 to 10 this morning. Shifting to the southwest, increasing 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour later this afternoon. Looks like down south, Eddy County, getting a little bit worse than we are, but still breezy nonetheless. Enough to trigger a red flag warning. Clear skies tonight, overnight low of 56, breezy winds out of the southwest 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds will drop down 10 to 15 miles per hour after midnight tonight. For Wednesday, sunny, 89 once again for a high. Winds will be out of the northwest 10 to 20 miles per hour. Matter of fact, we do have a fire weather watch for tomorrow as well, which I'm imagining might change over to red flag warnings, but that's from 11 to 8 on Wednesday as well. Wednesday night, clear skies, 53 for an overnight low with west winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny, 82, so a little bit cooler. Winds out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, dropping back into the mid-70s under partly cloudy skies. Slight chance of sprinkles Friday night. 40% chance of showers on Saturday. High of 76. That's increased. Hopefully that we need the moisture, so even though we've got to wait till Saturday for it. Saturday night, 30% chance of rain. Partly cloudy, overnight low of 54, and a 20% on Sunday, mostly sunny 82 otherwise. All right, 7:21, we're going to take a quick commercial break, get you into your Roswell Livestock Report recap, and then we'll talk with the folks from Harvest Ministries and the United States Postal Service. That's up next. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1116 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves, the light weights sold 5 to 10 lower, 5 to 6 weights, $10 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 5 lower. Packer cows and bulls $2 to $4 lower. 3 to 400 pound steers $3.67 to $4. 3 to 400 pound heifers $3.25, $3.35. 4 to 500 pound steers $3.40, $3.67. 4 to 500 pound heifers $2.87, $3.25. 5 to 600 pound steers $2.76, $3.40. 5 to 600 pound heifers $2.50, $2.87. 6 700 pound steers $2.37, $2.76. 6 700 pound heifers $2.26, $2.50. 7 800 pound steers $2.30, $2.37. 7 800 pound heifers $2.05, $2.26. Packer cows $1.25, $1.36. Canner and Cutter cows 112, 118. Packer bulls 143, 153. Feeder bulls 125, 135. Top half the cow-calf pairs $1,900 to $2,300 per pair. Top half the bred cows $1,500 to $1,725 per head. We do appreciate the business, and let's all pray for some rain. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate in the race for State Senate District 27 with a strong conservative record on border security and stopping illegal immigration. Greg Nybert has voted against free college for illegals. He's voted against professional licensing for illegals. He has stood strong against Michelle Lujan Grisham turning New Mexico into a sanctuary state for drugs, crime, and criminals. He has fought to end catch and release for violent criminals and will continue to do so. New Mexico is at the center of a border crisis because our laws make us a haven for illegal immigrants, drug trafficking, and cartel activity. MLG's liberal agenda has unleashed terrible harm on our state. That's why a vote for Greg Nybert is a vote to take back our border security. Greg will keep fighting against the march of the radical left that threatens to harm our way of life. Vote for Greg Nybert, a proving conservative voice for State Senate.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment, living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by two imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
Eastern New Mexico University is proud to announce our newest offering, a Master of Social Work degree. This 100% online, affordable master's degree has 3 concentrations: clinical military, and children, youth, and families. This online master's degree is perfect for the working professional, as you can earn your degree on your own time with our flexible online courses. For more information, visit www.enmu.edu/MSW. Eastern New Mexico University, student success. That's what we're about.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, Mark Green back with us from Harvest Ministries, and Amelia Benavidez with United States Postal Service back as well.
Good morning.
Good morning. How y'all doing?
Very good. Thank you.
Well, we know what that means if you two are together in the room with us, that we're coming up on another letter carrier food drive, which will be this Saturday.
This Saturday.
It's time once again this year, and it's very similar to years past, where we're asking folks to leave non-perishable food items out at your mailbox this Saturday.
Yes.
And your letter carrier will grab it and get it to Harvest Ministries, where it'll get to people in need all over Chaves County.
Yes.
So the tradition keeps going. But Mark, this is really a main staple for you guys. Particularly as we're getting into warmer months, summer months, as kids are getting out of school. A lot of people don't realize most of our donations for food, blood, a lot of other things come from schools.
Yeah, that's true. So all through the school year, all of the schools keep us supplied with groceries through their food drives. And so then the summer comes and everybody takes vacation, and pretty much the organizations do too. So this is the food drive pretty much that will carry us through the summer as far as our non-perishable stuff. So it's extremely important.
This is kind of our, exactly. This is kind of our winter, or kind of a Black Friday moment where we're headed to get us through the next few months here. So if we want you to remind, tie a string around your finger, do whatever you got to do, but gather some non-perishable food items. and make sure you put them out at your mailbox, and we'll have Boy Scouts and letter carriers and all kinds of people helping out to get all that collected, and because it's all hands on deck. Letter carrier trucks test all the strength of the shocks.
Oh, yeah. Especially with all that Amazon and Temu in there, too.
Yeah. It's like, what weighs more, catalogs or canned goods? Let's find out.
Let's go. We want to fill up those trucks for sure.
Absolutely. But and I know this is something that the letter carriers really step up and love doing.
Oh, yeah, we do. This is actually, the Stamp Out Hunger has been going on since 1993. So this is like 31 years in the making. Yeah.
I know we've been talking about it since pretty much 2015 since we started doing this show. I think.
Yeah.
So,
This is my 15th year doing this.
Yeah. So
being the coordinator anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of change in your life since then.
Oh,
but
yeah,
you've been doing it.
Yeah, a lot.
Name changes, all kinds
right,
of stuff.
a lot of stuff. Grandkids.
Yeah. Life has happened.
Yeah. We have over like the last 31 years. We've had over 20. Right now we have 290,000 carriers across America that participate in over 220 union branches across America, from Alaska to Florida. In the last 31 years, they collected over 1.9 billion pounds of food for America.
That's amazing.
And that's donated to all local food banks. We're proud to, coordinate with Harvest Ministries again. We're also teaming up. We needed some help in Clovis this year, so we're teaming up with them, and we're getting their food bank or food drive going over there with their food bank. A lot of I think it's like 22 cities in New Mexico alone is participating in this.
Excellent.
And it really helps out our state. Like Pastor Green was saying, this is a time to donate. Our food banks are extremely low during this time.
Yes.
And it's such a great opportunity. I think, how many pounds did we get last year, Pastor?
I don't remember. Was it 17,000?
Yeah, it was like almost 17,000 pounds of food. And that's a mass amount of food to
and
get out.
every drop is needed.
Yeah,
every pound of that food is needed.
Pound.
To give you an idea of how much that is, so you've seen the bins in the grocery stores that have the pumpkins, watermelons.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I believe it was 28 bins. So
full to the top.
we were full. Our basement was full, which we were very happy about.
Well, we should let's make more bins this year.
Let's
do it. we have as many bins as we can fill up.
Yeah, and then also again, like the PO box section, like in any individual that's going to be out of town this weekend on the 11th on Saturday.
Yeah.
You could go to the main post office here at 415 North Penn.
Yeah, just a couple blocks over from where we're at right now.
Go over there.
Downtown.
We have a bin set up. We're going to have a bin set up today, this afternoon.
So you can start dropping off this afternoon.
Off the donations there if you're going to be out of town. Unfortunately, I don't know if you've seen the forecast this weekend.
Yeah, I was just reading, and Saturday looks a little bit. Can't complain. We need moisture.
We don't. Yeah. We were not going to complain.
Just saying, can we have it Thursday or Friday or Sunday?
So let's hopefully it happens after the food drive. But if not, go ahead and get a plastic bag, wrap up that food in it with the additional. We do have some bags going out. We have reminder cards going out in the mail today. We're going to send those every door direct throughout the city.
Yeah.
And then we also have some bags. We're not going to have enough bags totally for the whole city, but we'll have a lot of. If you don't need a bag to donate, you could use your own bag.
Yeah, if you're grocery shopping, grocery bags or whatever would be just fine.
Probably even a small trash bag.
Yeah,
trash bag. Something that's water
yes,
proof or
would
water
be nice,
resistant.
just in case that rain does happen and that load it,
throw it in a
unload
kitchen bag or a long leaf bag and just zip it tie it up, whatever, and that would be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And like I said, just put that next to your mailbox during delivery hours. Usually our carriers, we start off in the office at 8 o'clock, but we usually don't go out to the street until about between 9 and about 10 o'clock.
So if you get it early, you get your mail early, they might be a little bit later on Saturday.
And we've had a lot of route changes on the south side of Roswell, so your mail might not be at the same time it used to be because they changed all our territories.
Gotcha.
So
people that you may see in the morning, you may not see until after lunch.
You might get it. So just be aware of that. So make sure that you have your food out there at least by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Sure. And if you really are worried about weather and stuff, just bring it down to the main branch here downtown.
For sure.
And you can drop it in the box there. Like you said, it'll be here this afternoon. And so if you're out doing your grocery shopping here today, pick up some extra items and drop it off at the post office.
And I want to thank all the letter carriers here in Roswell. I know, and across New Mexico, it's a very hard job that we do, and then of course this is additional work on top of the work that we have.
Absolutely.
And then just with all the Amazon, Temu, and all the packages that we get now, our package have increased at least by 70-80% since I've started.
You're gonna
18
need
years ago.
You're gonna need like cartoon like Dr. Seuss trucks that like look normal here, but then bubble out like muffins or something up here.
I actually have to drive a 2-ton driving around town that day just to unload because we just don't have the room in our trucks anymore. So I shout out, big shout out to all our letter carriers here in Roswell.
They do go above and beyond.
They
on this
do,
day.
and it's a great cause.
And here's the thing, though, they do love doing this. They see the need. They see because postal carriers they're people of the neighborhood. They have relationships with the people that they deliver to every day. So it's part of that relationship. And when you talk and George or Sue or whoever your letter carrier is, they come by every day and here's our there's a relationship.
I have a lot of friends
on
my route. Yeah, I've been on my route for like 8 or 9 years now, and you begin they become your friends after a while. They're very good people.
And conversely, you guys see everything, so you're this is a family that could probably benefit from some of this stuff, and say, hey, go talk to the Harvest Ministry folks while you're collecting. Say, go talk to Harvest Ministries. And
so I've got a question for you. This is off the subject, but
no problem.
During the holidays, do people still leave gifts for their letter carriers sometimes?
Good.
Yes, they do.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
we do.
I'm glad they do because I thought that was a tradition that kind of died.
It's not as much as it used to. Like I started 18 years ago, and it was more so back then. Now, we still,
let's bring that tradition back.
Right?
There we go. Bring it back.
So, Amelia, let's ask: what's an appropriate thing to leave for a letter carrier? What would be considered over the top? What would be something that's
not milk and cookies, right?
Yeah.
No, usually a lot of people. It's a gift card. Okay. But we can't accept any gifts over $50.
Okay, so
that's
keep it
kind
under
of our
50.
cap.
So keep it under 50. So depending.
And then I like we get a lot of gift cards. That's a staple now. I get Starbucks cards. You name it. We get a lot of gift cards.
That probably fuels you throughout the day.
And then my husband and me are both carriers, so we used to get a lot of cards back in the day.
So around January time, Amelia didn't pay cash for anything. Right. I got a gift card for that. Hold on. But and for folks that don't know, all the food, all that's collected goes to Harvest Ministries. And for folks not familiar, Harvest Ministries kind of is our hub for helping for food and things. You may have heard of the Roadrunner Food Bank on the news and things that serves New Mexico. Roadrunner Food Bank comes to you, and you kind of serve as the Roadrunner Food Bank for our region.
So it's a partnership, So we're all under Feeding America nationally.
Yes.
And then Roadrunner Food Bank is over most of New Mexico. And then we're the agency in Chaves County that is the hub for food distribution here. Yeah. Food rescue and distribution.
So kind of so it's kind of the one-stop shop. Not only do you service the public directly, but you service other organizations.
Yeah, 14 other agencies
that also service the community here. So by all the food going here, it is kind of the best triage place to get, hopefully 30 bins, 40 bins of food this time.
Let's try to break that 20,000 mark this year.
That would be nice.
Then also this year, I want to dedicate this year to our fellow carrier, Ernie Jimenez. He passed away last year, and he was a big supporter of the food drive. He was a food drive coordinator forever until he retired. Then I took over the position.
So he was. So we can thank him for this region being this active. Yeah.
I want to honor him this year and dedicate our food drive to Mr. Jimenez, and he was a great staple to us in the Postal Service here in Roswell.
I'm sure he's watching over and smiling.
Yes,
he's like,
he was
my
a good
favorite
guy.
weekend. Last Saturday's Kentucky Derby. Everybody loved that. This weekend's letter carrier. That's my weekend to shine.
For sure.
But so please get now. As far as foods that are acceptable, obviously your typical non-perishable canned goods, things that obviously nothing refrigerated. What other things do we need to steer clear of?
Well, bread's
perishable stuff.
Perishable and bread.
Fruit.
People might not think bread's so perishable, but it will get mashed. And all of
there
that.
are uses for it.
Yeah, so probably not bread, but cans, boxes mainly, bags of rice, beans, things like that.
Beans and rice are always great staples because they go far and spread. You can feed a lot of people.
Also, we're not opposed to people cleaning out their pantries. So that you look and think, well, there's that can of hominy I bought last year and I've never used it. So Yeah, throw it in there because we will go through all of the dates, and if you think, well, it's expired, throw it in there, and we'll go through them and check the dates on everything.
Yeah, if it says like Best Buy 2014, maybe don't bring that one.
Maybe not.
And also,
but they don't even have to do that. We will go through every single item, and if you've got 20,000 hopefully pounds of food, that is a lot of eyes on those cans and boxes. But we have volunteers who will do that. And check every single box you can and make sure they're
Do you
good.
get some leeway with the expired date can?
My goodness.
Because I know, they tell you Best Buy, but in theory, you can eat canned stuff. So does it get used in some way, shape, or form, or do you have to get rid of it?
No. So if it's 10 or 15 years out of date,
then
we're obviously going to get rid of it.
Then that goes to a podcaster who wants to do a freak show open and see what happens.
Oh, man.
and when I lived in Africa, we had been collecting things to take over, and so we were over there several years. Well, by the time I came back, a lot of our stuff was 3, 4, 5 years out of date. And I don't recommend that people eat things that are 5 years out of date, but we're still here.
You're in a food emergency and you need to eat food as food.
People need to realize, you look on there's a Best Buy. That means the quality and the taste of the food will be best if you eat it before that date. And then there's a use or freeze by, like
then science
meats,
takes
things
over after
like
that date.
Right. So if it says use or freeze by as something perishable, you've got to use it or freeze it by the date. If it says expires on for baby food, things like that, you need to get rid of it.
That's a hard date.
Yeah, that's a hard date. But if it's just a Best Buy date, those dates sometimes are good for, like, we have a catalog that tells us how long we can give something or distribute something after the Best Buy or used by or expiration date.
Gotcha.
And so
you can use some of that.
Go ahead and throw them in. And,
okay,
and
good.
we know
because I was always worried you had to get rid of it, and I was
use.
like, that's just taking up space.
Yeah, no.
But that being said, please be a little cognizant. Like if you're like, when did I put that thing of black olives in there? Oh wait, they're not black olives; they're green olives. Let's throw that away.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but also remember the kids too. So like the microwavable soups and mac and cheeses and the ones you can literally quick fix and type things
and not
for
just
kids,
seniors as well.
Yeah. Sure, seniors, people that don't have those are very useful things. So the Chef Boyardees, the Kraft mac and cheeses, even the cup of soups, your ramens and all those. Those are great items that are
cans
cheap
with pop tops on them.
Yeah.
Sometimes for seniors, just using a can opener, or for kids. Mm-hmm. But if they can just pull a tab and open the tab on the can, that makes preparing their food a lot easier.
Absolutely. So please, think of all that stuff and think of stuff for the kids, stuff that for, like you said, people that don't maybe have a lot of cooking apparatus and things. Certainly all that. Keep your beans, your rice, your grains, all that stuff like that. We definitely want that too. But don't forget those the canned, easy. They got a lot of microwavable canned soups and things now. Just grab a few of those, like Campbell's. You can get almost the same flavors, in those microwavables now too. So just grab those. So, or the dinky beef stews and those kind of chili. Everybody loves chili. Your friends may not like you later, but everyone loves chili. And so donate that kind of stuff. Now that being said, again, it's this Saturday. This is the big day. This Saturday. So when get out. So if you do have a busy day, either get it out there first thing, or don't forget. You can take your food directly to the post office here downtown. There'll be a drop box there this afternoon. So if you have a P.O. box, or if you're not
or
available,
roll route carry, roll route. Yeah, you're in town.
Or if
shopping.
you just, for whatever reason you don't want to leave it at your mailbox, you can bring it on down here, and we'll make sure it gets.
Yeah, some people don't feel safe leaving their stuff out there. They're gonna take it. I was like, no, just bring it to the post office.
People
we'll
know
get
their
taken care of. Yeah.
People do know their neighborhood best, and know my neighbor, you'll be rooting through it.
We used to have a carrier that used to always tease us like, "Oh, good, I'll bring my can opener that day. I don't have to buy lunch." I was like, "Really?
We're going shopping, huh?"
He was hilarious, but yeah.
Real quick, that reminds you. Ever seen that show Impractical Jokers?
Yes.
They got about 5 million episodes, but there's one episode where they're at like a food pantry or a place where they're But it's more like a larger scale where they got conveyor belts bringing food and all the stuff coming in the hub center, and so they're doing their impractical joke thing there, and part of it's volunteering, but part of it is they had to act like jerks in there, and so literally they're doing that. They're opening up the food and eating out of it, and the other volunteers are. You can tell somebody ready to drop this dude. They're ready to fight because they're just being complete. Like, what a bunch of jerks. It was really that thing. But it just reminded me when you said that. I was thinking of that show. But
we definitely have some jokers in our office.
Yeah. But speaking of the Harvest Ministries and that side of things. Something that Mark mentioned to me when we walked in, he said, for the first time in a long time, we need volunteers.
That's right.
We are at you have and have had over the years some very long-serving, devout volunteers in this community that have been staples at Harvest Ministries. Well, we were just talking about me, how a lot's changed in your 15 years of doing this. Well, that same at Harvest Ministries. Yeah. Folks are older. They're getting to the point of their lives where they're ready to spend more time with the grandkids.
We still have volunteers who are in their 90s.
Yeah.
Okay,
wow.
These people are awesome, but
we need some younger backs.
We do, but we've had several. We've had some people have to drop out because of illness.
Yeah.
We've had some people have to drop out just because they're in their 80s, upper 80s, and it's like I just can't do this anymore. And been there for a long time. Like you said, some of our volunteers have been there since the beginning, 20 years more. And
it's time for the next generation to come in.
First time some days we're falling short on volunteers. So we do need volunteers Monday through Friday. Anytime between 8 and 12, you can come for an hour, 2, 3, come one day a week, come every day a week. We have volunteers who come every single day of the week.
Little bit.
And have for years and years.
Yeah. And I would even invite families too,
absolutely. Especially in the summer.
While the kids are out of school and stuff, bring them with you and let them serve with you. They can help stack shelves or organize or help put baskets together, whatever needs to be done at that particular day.
Yeah, every time you have a break in school, we have families, kids who come out. We have youth groups who come out. Sure. And during the summer, we'll also have families, parents come and bring the 3, 4, 5 kids and volunteer.
You can create some of the best family experiences by serving together as a family doing something like this. And obviously, as parents, you're trying to teach your kids the ways in the world and all this, and there's some valuable lessons there in humility and service and showing consequences a little bit here too for your kids. Like, this is why we say, this. We don't want you in this situation. This is why we want you to be here. And, it's all part of that growing experience for your family. So come in there. But then at the same time, it's teaching them to be humble, to be service-minded, and to look at people
just
the
to be
same.
Considerate of others. And
those are valuable lessons to teach kids that will serve them well when they're adults.
And Harvest is a great place to do that. And I would also say, if you have any inkling that you might even consider being a volunteer, just come down and take the tour or come down and volunteer one day.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I find if somebody will come down and just do it for one day, they'll see the camaraderie that we have.
The bug, huh?
Yeah, we've got, we have usually we have a base of between 40 and 50 volunteers. They don't all come on one day, obviously. Every day we'll have around 20 volunteers. And but they come in, especially the ones that have been there for a while. They'll come in early, grab a cup of coffee, sit down, they'll chat and visit until
it's as much of a social aspect as a service.
Yeah, it's kind of like their morning cafe. Just come, sit down, drink coffee and fellowship, and then as soon as it's time, everybody hits the ground running, and we get everything done.
I would argue that if you talk to all of your volunteers, they take out as much, if not more, from this as they in theory desire to give back.
Well, Jesus said it is more blessed to give than to receive, and I would always rather be on the giving end, but we're happy to be there for people who need to be on the receiving end.
We all at some point in our life need to be on the receiving end. And
That's
so,
right,
we all hit that place. But I don't care who you are, where you come from, there's a point in life where you're going to need some.
Well, it's the old saying, the old saying, if you see a turtle on a fence post, he didn't get there by himself. And so, we all are where we are because somebody helped us along the way.
Absolutely.
I was that kid in line growing up at the food bank.
Well,
it's like I was there with my parents. That
that's
helped us out.
Probably why you're to this day.
And that's
15
why
years
I
doing
dedicate
this.
my time because I don't get paid for this. I'm doing it. I have to take leave, annual leave to do this. I do it on my spare time. Yeah, so it's just something that I feel like they gave to me when I was young, so I feel like I give back to the community.
Well, don't forget you got a baton to pass too, because
at
some point you're going to get tired.
I have 5 years left. 5 years left of this, and I am really trying to find somebody to step up and
So all you letter carriers out there, me's going to be. How you doing?
I can see the light. It's a little light, but I can see it there. And retirement's coming up, so for sure.
Wow,
so about 5 years.
And we appreciate Amelia. We do. She puts in a lot of hours.
Absolutely.
Getting all this ready, but on the day of, she's mourning tonight.
She's stomping out fires.
We really appreciate
and it's my day off because we have like a long weekend every 6 weeks, so I very rarely get a long weekend. So this is my long weekend. Then I'm off. I'm like, it's a food drive. I was like, okay, I'll spend the whole day and my day off.
Sunday will be a true day of rest.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. And I have 2 fake knees now, so it's even harder now to do this, but it's still out there.
But you love doing it, and that's why you keep doing it.
I
You'll
do
do
love
it
it.
till you retire. And I'm going to take a stab, even after you retire.
I'm going to volunteer.
I was about to say, you're going to be floating around. You're going to be involved.
I for sure will still
You
help.
may not be officially running it, but you're going to be just.
I'm one of those people that cannot stay still. I have a DJ business on top of, I'm a professional DJ on top of being,
Man, amazed. Like, you only got one job. What's wrong with you?
I have a professional DJ business on top of being a letter carrier, on top of being a grandmother of 6. Mind you, I have 6 grandkids. But it's nonstop.
Awesome. She's creating a labor force, by the way. That's
I am trying to get my granddaughter to help me DJ. Come on, let's go. She's like, I'm not ready for that.
I'm sure they're all going to have servers' hearts too.
Right.
But if you do want to do it, please reach out to Harvest Ministries. Come out today and say if you want to volunteer. And like we were saying earlier, I'd also like to throw the challenge out to civic organizations and things too. The letter carriers are going to help us get through the summer here, but it still gets lean.
It does.
Even despite the amount.
It's lean right now.
And then think about all these seniors, soon to be seniors. They want to volunteer. It looks great on a scholarship resume.
Yeah.
It looks great. Go out there and help the community. It's a great thing to do to help out Harvest Ministries and the city of Roswell.
Absolutely. So please serve and if you want to volunteer, but I'd even offer our civic groups. Organize your food drives. If you're having your summer events, say, hey, bring canned food and we'll donate it to Harvest Ministries or something to the event. If you want to work it in as a discounter. But, think about that, particularly during the summer months here because, like we said, this is when the demand's higher, more clientele are in need at this time. Everything increases except the food supply coming in, it decreases.
Right.
That's the weird variable about this time of year.
And Mike, right now, anyone who goes to the grocery store knows how high food cost is right now.
You bought a gallon of milk lately? Or you bought a hamburger?
Yeah. You used to say it was hard to go in the grocery store and get out for less than $30. It seems like right now it's hard to go in and get out for less than $90. Just for a few bags.
Absolutely.
And also, food banks because of that, food banks are really hard hit. And Roadrunner, for example, I used to order food from Roadrunner. We also do the rescue from our local retailers that are very, very generous with us.
They keep it going.
But I used to order from Roadrunner. I would have like 12 pages I could order from. Right now, there is 1 page. That's how much less food there are.
It's across the board.
It is.
Even the normal. So now more than ever, the onus is on the public to help fill that void, that gap here. So all of the civic organizations, when you have your next meetings, maybe put something on the agenda about maybe doing a food drive or some kind of way to help out Harvest Ministries get food here. I know we got a lot of great service in this town. I want to put Harvest Ministries needs on your radar because we need to rally and support here. But you can start by, we'll just say lawn and leaf bag. Go to your favorite hardware store. I don't care which one. Get you that 50-gallon, like you just put leaves in it bag. And grab that, and then start clearing off shelves in your pantry.
Oh yeah, we have between now and Saturday.
Yeah, start going or get to the grocery store and buy up all the canned goods.
Spring
and stuff.
Cleaning time. You might as well start in the kitchen.
You might as well. That's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go through your pantry and
sure.
And let's help out, and then and let's get to the point where we have space issues because we got so much food. That's the problems I want to hear about.
Yeah. we love those kind of problems. Yes, we do.
For sure.
And, of course, if anybody has any questions about anything, you can always reach out to Harvest Ministries on Facebook. Come by. I don't think there's anything online for letter carriers.
No, there isn't right now. But like I said, if you have any, we have the donation location there at the main post office. It's 415 North Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
You could donate there before, and if you have any questions, you can call the local post office. They'll give you they'll give you some information. Yeah.
They can talk.
And if you have problems, getting the food out to the door, you could leave a note in the mailbox. Say, hey, I can't get the food out to the, I can't carry it out. Well, we'll go help you.
Absolutely. We'll
for
get
sure.
we'll make it happen. And you know what? This is time where neighbors need to help neighbors too.
Oh,
Look
yeah,
out for each
sure.
other. If you got a neighbor that you know has those kind of issues,
hey, I
take
can
that over
out.
there for
Yeah,
you.
for sure.
Be neighborly.
For sure.
And of course, call Harvest Ministries. Give the phone number for Harvest Ministries.
575-624-2415. And like you said, they can also go to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
Or to our webpage, harvestmen.net.
Very good. And if you want to volunteer, if you're in a need, certainly come out here. But or if you're a civic organization wants to get more involved, or who knows, maybe if we're having some volunteer issues, maybe it's like I don't know, insert service organization day here. All your Altrusians or Kiwanians or whatever are going to spend the day at Harvest Ministry. Even if we need to do that, let's talk. But the demand will increase, the supplies and the resources are decreasing. That's a bad combination. We need to rally to get that.
And then also, social media is a great tool for us. So post it on your Facebook, Instagram.
Share the wealth.
Say,
yes.
hey, food drives this weekend.
Absolutely, yeah. Tell your neighbors.
Take
tell
some
your
pictures.
Friends.
Post them online. Say, hey, look, I'm helping out this year. It'd be great.
Yeah, while you're at the grocery store. Yeah.
Every year, my daughter sends me a picture of the grandkids putting out, their bag, and it's so awesome.
That self-promotion gets so many eyeballs on these kind of things. So, yeah, definitely do that. Or, make it a family thing. Show the kids getting involved.
Show those pictures.
And doing all that. And share the love and spread the word. And like we said, leave your food out by your mailboxes here on Saturday for your letter carriers. Or I guess you can do both unless you got a P.O. box. Just drop it off at the main post office here on Pennsylvania. So
yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Getting the word out for us.
Anything else, Mark, that on the Harvest Ministry side we wanted to share that we didn't get a chance to?
We've got our bottomless triathlon coming up on July 13th, and Harvest Ministries the charity for that. So,
awesome.
We'll get you back in.
Go out and ride your bike and swim and run and jump in on it.
Hey, start your training.
Oh.
Get a couple sacks of canned goods.
There you go.
Do a Rocky situation
go.
around there to get you going.
For sure.
You can run it to the post office from your house here. Very good. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for your service, Amelia. Well, I'm safe to say we'll see you next year.
Oh, yeah. God willing.
We don't have to wait till next year. That's all. But thank you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, 7:55. Quick break to pay for ads. And it's political season, so we got a few of those in there, too. So quick break before news. Don't go away.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Neibert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Neibert has a record of opposing the liberal progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Neibert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Neibert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Neibert for State Senate. Artesia General Hospital's Rehabilitation Center is here to help you recover and get back to the activities you love. Rehabilitation services include physical, occupational, and speech therapy, all led by experienced, licensed therapists. From symptom management to patient education, customized home exercise programs, and family support, Artesia General Hospital's integrated approach to rehabilitation is designed to facilitate your best possible recovery so you can get back to work, back to play, and back to life. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/rehab or by calling 575-736-8174.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for the New Mexico State Senate, District 27. My deep-rooted connection to the land and understanding of the challenges facing rural communities make me uniquely qualified to represent the interest of District 27 in the State Senate. I love this district and its people, and I look forward to representing you in Santa Fe. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by Committee to Elect Pat Boone, New Mexico Senate, District 27, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 7:59. Stay tuned next hour. Around 8:15 or so, we're going to have Peggy Boland join us to talk Camp Invention, which June 3rd to the 7th. We are less than a month away from Camp Invention here. So we'll talk about that next hour. Of course, don't forget, we will have playoff baseball for you Friday and Saturday here on the radio. Goddard Rocket Baseball. We'll have game one of the first round best of three here Friday night at 6 here on KEND. Game two, I believe, is at 11. Don't quote me on that. I'm doing off the top of my head. And then, of course, game three, if necessary, right of that. We're definitely going to have it on the radio here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We are still working on procuring the video rights. Hopefully by today we should know whether we got that locked down or not. We were working and putting out the phone call. See, what's happening is we put in the call. They're probably trying to turn over every leaf to see if they got someone that can cover it, and then they'll tell us, no, you can have it. So we're waiting for that call. All right, 8 o'clock, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Parts of Oklahoma and Kansas slammed by powerful storms overnight. Tornadoes cutting a path of destruction north of Tulsa. A large hail battered parts of Kansas. And the Storm Prediction Center's Roger Edwards. Not over yet.
Kansas and western Missouri are in the clear, but eastern Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, and I'd say central and eastern Missouri still have a threat.
In Barnesdall, Oklahoma, a twister wrecked homes and businesses. It's blamed for at least one death there. It's feared the death toll could rise as crews search for people possibly trapped in the rubble. An Israeli tank brigade seizing control of the Gaza Strip side of the Rafah border crossing with Egypt. Israel pressing ahead with a Rafah offensive after rejecting a ceasefire proposal that the BBC's Jeremy Bowen says fell short of Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's demands.
I think Israel's assumption was that Yahya Sinwar, the head of Hamas in Gaza, was not interested in doing any kind of a deal, that he wanted to continue with this, and that in a sense made life a lot simpler for Netanyahu, who's been under a lot of pressure from his own right wing to do this operation in Gaza. And don't forget, these are the right-wingers who sustain his government. Without them, the government falls. So the phrase I keep hearing is that now the ball is very much in Netanyahu's court, that the bluff has been called. I think you can probably take it one stage further and say that the ball is actually also in Joe Biden's court.
Another college campus tent encampment has been cleared this morning. Chicago police moving in on the University of Chicago campus. The Rhode Island School of Design held talks with protesters occupying a building there, and MIT is facing a new encampment on a site that had previously been cleared. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 78 points, NASDAQ down 18. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Has been sworn in for a fifth term as Russia's president. His March electoral victory, decried by Western governments, is unfair and undemocratic.
Mr. Putin has been in power in Russia as president or head of the government for nearly a quarter of a century. In that time, Britain has had 7 prime ministers. His decision 2 years ago to launch a full-scale invasion of Ukraine and Russia's war there are likely to define Vladimir Putin's time in office. As he embarks on his 5th term in the Kremlin, tension between Russia and the West remains high, while at home, the crackdown on dissent appears to be intensifying.
The BBC's Steve Rosenberg in Moscow. British officials say the names and banking details of thousands of serving British soldiers, sailors, and Air Force members have been exposed in a data breach at a payroll system. Sky News reports Chinese hackers were responsible. News and analysis, townhall.com. Researchers have identified a genetic form of late-in-life Alzheimer's disease.
Most cases of the mind-robbing disease occur after age 65. A gene called APOE4 has long been considered a key risk factor. But new research says if people inherit 2 copies of that gene, it's not just a risk, it appears to be an underlying cause. About 15% of Alzheimer's patients are thought to carry the gene pair. Scientists say the distinction could have implications for both research and treatment. The findings were published Monday in Nature Medicine. Keith Peters reporting.
A Minnesota Senate ethics panel considering what to do with lawmaker Nicole Mitchell, charged with burglary for allegedly breaking into her estranged stepmother's house. According to a felony complaint, Mitchell told police that she broke in last month because her stepmother refused to give her items of sentimental value from her late father. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome. And I mean welcome to hour number 2.
Da deuce, boss.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here. Which way did he go, Churches? Where did he go?
I will call him George.
And I will hold
Hug
him,
him and squeeze him. And
Man.
pat him and pet him.
It's always weird how you don't realize Looney Tunes were part of your life until they just start spewing out of you, like
it's
out of just don't really, just they just sit in a deep recess somewhere, and then there they go.
It just exists in a portion of your brain. Here's why, though. It's because that's all we had. Like the kids today, they have so much choice. I mean, that's the problem is most kids are like, what are you into? And it's a completely different universe of things than what the other kids are into. Me and you, we had Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, we had, there was He-Man and there was other cartoons. Well, but the ubiquitous ones were Saturday morning, sitting down, bowl of cereal, carpet, Indian style. I know crisscross applesauce, but Indian style.
That's what we said as a kid, too.
And
I didn't know crisscross applesauce.
Sitting there with the Nintendo on the floor because you couldn't put it on the stand, and you're just watching cartoons, waiting for, usually it was the cartoons until 10, and then they did American Gladiators, and that was the buffer program. And then it was like Wild World of Sports or something like that would just... That was your cue. Either turn the Nintendo on or go out and play.
And then before American Gladiators, it was WWF Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
As that 11 o'clock spot. And that's where I grew up in loving my wrestling.
Right.
Out in the 80s, earlier 80s, not later 80s when it was Gladiators, but the earlier 80s, yeah. That's why my wheelhouse of knowledge of WWF wrestlers is Junkyard Dog.
Sure.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
I'm gonna drop one on you. Do you remember Bastion Booger?
Yes.
He was just the grossest human being known to man.
Yes.
His whole move was he would just drop his nethers onto your neck and face. And it's like the worst. He was the worst human. And then he would do the snot rockets.
Yeah. I think he's a precursor to guys like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yeah.
And
to a narrowed down point, like an Eddie Kingston.
Yeah.
Like your Mad Kings, your kind of that wrestler. He's not really a wrestler. He's just what they call a bruiser.
Yeah.
Just wants to get in there and just mess people up.
And I mean, we had your Macho Mans and your Rowdy Pipers and all that, but like your garden variety stable of bad guys were Brutus the Beefcake.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Yeah. Honky Tonk Man.
Yep. Ayana checking in, by the way. She said I sit Indian style. Still do. But you know what? Fair enough.
What was I'm trying to think of some of them. There was like this other tier.
Now, if you're talking about that range, you
Greg
got
the Hammer Valentine.
Snuka.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like the good guys were like the bad guys were like there was the superstar bad guys. You're kind of
DiBiase.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. I would argue.
DiBiase, Roddy Piper are the classic like constant.
Iron Sheik would definitely be one of those. Nikolai Volkov.
Like
they were the top tier bad
lifer
guys.
Heels, the ones that you couldn't see them going
but
on a baby
right
face
below
run.
them were the Brutus the Barber Beefcakes, the Greg the Hammer Valentines, Honky Tonk Man, Jake the Snake was. He teetered between top level and...
He's what we call a tweener.
Yeah.
He was always like... he would never like overtly do a bad guy thing.
Like his heyday was during the Hulkamania.
Yeah.
Like that with the snake on the bag. Like his highest high water mark was that round the first WrestleMania time.
Sure.
That was his high water mark.
Bobby Heenan.
Oh, well, yeah, Bobby the Brain...
Heenan,
yeah. He was like... Well, and they had I feel like they had a better class of managers then. Like
your Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Yeah, Jimmy Hart.
Your Paul Bearer. Well,
Bobby the Brain.
Paul Bearer was a little later.
Of course, Captain Lou.
Yeah.
There was Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji.
Yeah, Fuji. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'm missing one there. I feel like I'm missing one.
Cornette was one.
Yeah,
of course,
Jim
Elizabeth
Cornette
was in there during the afterwards.
There was the Reverend. What was what's the guy's name? Something to Wrestle. What's the guy who does the podcast Something to Wrestle? Pritchard, Bruce Pritchard. What was he? Wasn't he like the minister or something? He always came out like he's bright red faced. He came out with like the
Bruce Pritchard.
Yeah, he did. He was a manager in some capacity in the 80s.
And I kind of was like the guys
there
that
was
were
a superstar Billy Graham.
Well, yeah, there's
okay.
He was an actual wrestler. He was the precursor. He's sort of like the guy who Hogan stole his look from. The superstar Billy
King
Graham.
Kong Bundy was a big, huge bad guy. I mean, as far as high watermark bad guy,
Yeah.
he was 1-2 there.
I got caught up yesterday watching a whole video about like the different lies of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And how he changed the story about what happened when he picked up and body slammed Andre the Giant.
Mhm.
He's changed his weight like 7 different times, changed the different parts of his body that he tore. Like he's like this back, like 2 of my ribs separated, but it's always changed.
It's a different part every
different
time.
parts every time. Yeah.
Well, and then part of me wonders, is he embellishing or he just plain don't remember?
I mean,
you know what I mean? You take so many bumps over the years. I imagine they do bleed together at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Imagine.
but I mean, I would think that his brain is probably a little bit shook up from all the different.
Oh, by the way, so many CTE jokes at the roast.
I'm sure.
Well, and I saw one little piece of backlash that I guess came because there was quite a few Aaron Hernandez jokes, as one would expect. And I guess Aaron Hernandez's wife, who has a kid or two, I think one child by Aaron,
right,
was not happy with seeing the roast and all that.
Well,
and she's like, my kid lives in this world and all that. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But your dad murdered people.
There it is. Sorry to OJ's kids. You're going to have to deal with a modicum of insults being thrown your way.
Sins of the father.
Yeah,
Right.
That's going to be out there, and you can't control that.
Yes. To the
you as a parent have to explain to your kid and get them to understand this is going to happen. Help them with the mental health of that.
Right.
The public is not going to stop.
To any future children of one Casey Anthony, you're going to need to explain some things to people.
Yes.
It's like, yes, my mom is a piece of garbage. I'm aware, but that's not me.
Yeah.
It's not who I am.
Yeah, that's the life.
That's gotta be tough.
But yeah, you're right. But at the same time, I'm
It's like
just
walking around being like, oh, yeah, I'm Jerry Hitler. I'm Jerry Hitler.
And of course, the article I saw, the comments eviscerating the wife and all that.
Of course,
because that's what the public does.
That's what the internet's good for.
Exactly.
No, I just thought of another mid-card heel.
Okay.
That's Mabel.
Oh yeah, well that was more of like the '90s though.
Yeah, see, I was dumb. Like, to be honest,
yeah.
By the time I'm getting out of wrestling, Ultimate Warrior's not even really a thing yet.
Let me tell you why Mabel worked. Mabel only worked because they were going through a steroid scandal at the time, and all their geeked wrestlers, all their like super, like the hulked out wrestlers, they were pulling them off TV, and they were instead putting, because McMahon was like, well, size is size, so he was equating them gigantic, fat, lumberjack dudes.
Yeah,
those were his champions. That's the age of Yokozuna. That's where you got your Mabels, your Diesels, your
Vader,
Vader, your bigger, stocky guys. And that's why, because they don't look like they're roided out.
No, they just look like they're out of shape.
Yeah.
but they're not. I mean, they're not.
But I guarantee if they land on you from the middle rope, you're going to
And they're probably stronger in oxes and can throw you across the bill and all that. But yeah, but as far as cardio, probably not so
the
much.
Genesis of Otis.
Also, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, Sean, but nobody knows who Eddie Kingston is.
I know, but you know what? It was worth a shot. Some of them are for me, all right?
Only you and I know.
I just nod and smile.
That's right.
Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. But I can... Never mind. I'll go obscure somewhere else. My obscurities are different than your obscurities. Excuse me. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather and all that here in just a few. Shortly thereafter, we're going to have Peggy Boland join us here to talk Camp Invention, which is officially less than 1 month away, June 3rd through the 7th, at a new location this year at All Saints Catholic School, 2700 North Kentucky. But we'll talk about that and talk about getting signed up and all that's going to be involved in this year's Camp Invention. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety along with your Wall Street business update. And whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm temperatures for the next couple of days, and the wind will be a little gusty today, especially around Carlsbad and Artesia, up to 45 miles an hour. Wind at 10 to 25 miles an hour around the Roswell area. For the overnight hours, clear and windy. We're in the upper 50s, looks like upper 80s, sunny and a little bit breezy on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 63 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 15% with winds out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Red flag warning kicking in at 11 a.m. today, remaining in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Sunny and 89 with south winds 5 to 10 this morning, but those winds are expected to increase 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour later today. Tonight, skies will be clear and breezy with an overnight low of 56. Southwest winds 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds will drop down 10 to 15 after midnight. Wednesday, sunny 89, northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Wednesday night, clear skies, overnight low of 53. West winds tomorrow 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday, bringing in slightly cooler temps, sunny and 82, north winds 10 to 15. Friday, we're looking at partly cloudy skies, highs in the mid-70s, 76 for a high on Friday, and then a 40% chance of showers for the afternoon on Saturday, partly cloudy, 76 for a high, 30% chance of rain Saturday night, and 20% chance of showers on Sunday, mostly sunny, 82 for a high there. So warm and windy today, and then starting to shift a little bit tomorrow, and then by Friday, we're back down into the 70s with moisture. So I'll enjoy that. I do like that. All right, it is 8:18. We're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side, we're going to have Peggy Boland join us talking camp invention. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This is State Representative Candy Spence-Ezell. I'm a lifelong farmer and rancher. And for the past decade, I've been watching the radical policies of the so-called progressives in Santa Fe rapidly chip away at our traditional way of life. I've served in the State House for quite a while, and I'm known for saying no to Governor MLG every chance I get. I'm running now for the State Senate, where I have a greater impact in fighting for our economic development, our rights, our freedoms, and our Western way of life. I'm a life member of the NRA. In my time in the legislature, I have received an A+ rating from the NRA every year I've been in office. I am unshakably pro-Second Amendment and always stand up to those trying to destroy our Constitution. I'm Candy Spence-Ezell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence-Ezell for State Senate, District 32.
Can't hear as well as you used to? That can happen to the best of us. But when you can't hear people speaking or birds chirping, it's time to take action. That's when it's time to call Howard Allman with Here on Earth Hearing Care Center. Howard has been helping people hear better for over 55 years. Howard is who helps the Artesia seniors with servicing their hearing aids of all makes with free cleaning and hearing evaluations. And he's ready to help you. Howard can share with you information on Audibel Intrigue AI hearing aids with many features you might not expect a hearing aid can do, such as using your hearing aids to stream calls, music, and more. Plus, health monitoring, count steps, even fall detection, all built in. Meet face-to-face with someone who can help you choose the right hearing aid for you. Call Howard at 575-622-0375, and he'll be glad to set up a time to meet with you. That's 575-622-0375 for Howard Allman of Here on Earth Hearing Care Center.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agger told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
In southeast New Mexico, our state senator Greg Nibert has a strong conservative record, supporting the right to life, working to protect our conservative values, and standing up for the Second Amendment. That's why he's endorsed by the NRA. Greg Nibert has a record of opposing the liberal, progressive Santa Fe agenda. He has consistently stood against illegal immigration, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham's harmful progressive agenda, and policies that try to take away our rights and freedoms. He has stood up for us time and time again, especially when our rights have been under attack. Greg is a champion for our communities, our values, and our way of life. Greg Nibert has a record that we can count on. He is a strong supporter of our oil and gas jobs, which is so essential to southeast New Mexico. We need Senator Greg Nibert in Santa Fe. He is a proven, committed conservative and a strong voice for eastern New Mexico.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Senate.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning to talk camp invention, Peggy Bolin back with us. Good morning, Peggy. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah,
good.
It's hard to believe we're less than a month away from camp invention.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah, we are June 3rd through the 7th. All Saints Catholic School, new home this year for Camp Invention. But just like years past, open here for our elementary age kids. They're going to work on 4 different cool modules throughout the week, and they do it at their age-appropriate level. So if they're kindergarten or first grade, it'll be a little bit more elementary, but the same project, and the 5th graders and those will be working a little bit more advanced on it. But they work on the same cool projects that they get to take home, share with their families, use. These are toys and educational type things that they can utilize and show and tell. And so it really is a cool camp because it's a lot of fun. They're learning all the STEAM, really, science, engineering, math, but arts too, because there's as much arts in there as
technology
and all that. So STEAM is more appropriate here than STEM. But it's a fun week-long camp, and it gets kids excited about. And not to mention STEAM, it also teaches ancillary leadership skills, team building, group setting, working with others,
creativity,
all the things that you as a parent can't sit them in a room and teach them per se.
That's right.
They
Communication skills.
Learn it by being in the room and doing it.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's why Camp Invention's so cool. Yeah. At the end of the day, we want to light their passions to pursue science and those kind of careers, but this is all foundational, making your kid, giving them the tools to whatever they want to do in life, and they do it in a way where it's fun and it's camp and it's, it looks like it's just a week of fun and games to them, but they're accidentally learning all this stuff.
Right, exactly.
That's Camp Invention. To them, it's like a week of fun and games with their buddies. But in reality, they're learning foundational type stuff for whatever direction they want to take life.
So. Right.
The cool, like you've been doing this for what, about 15 years? 16 years now. And it's all through the Inventors Hall of Fame.
The National Inventors Hall of Fame.
Yeah, this is a camp. It goes on all around the country. There's camps in every state.
Yep.
Oh, hold on. I might be getting a... This is just an EA test.
Oh.
But they take priority over. Whenever I'm on the radio, they take over when those kick in. So, sorry about that.
No worries.
Had that been an actual emergency, they would have got on and told us what's going on.
Right.
But,
I understand.
Just a test. So, but anyway, when we, this camp is all over all 50 states. This camp is, so if you've got family in East Coast or Texas or something,
send them here.
Them here. But if they're too far, maybe have them look into camp inventions in their neighborhoods, in their communities. But Roswell has one here, and
we're one of 5 in the state.
But said there's not that many in the state in New Mexico, so you're kind of lucky. We got one in your own backyard here. Thanks to Peggy. Peggy is the reason why we have Camp Invention.
Nobody else wants to do it.
She's the one that brought it here. She's the one that's fostered it, grew it, and has continued it for 16 years here. So, but it's a great camp. It is. I'm telling you, kids. there's and you get a lot of repeat business because you get kids that they'll start at first grade or early,
right?
Then they'll go second,
continue.
third, fourth, and next thing you know they got 4 or 5 years of this camp under their belt, and it's great. They love it. They come back year after year, and that's the proof in the pudding. Is when you got kids that are eagerly excited to come back year after year. That's all the evidence you need that this camp is something that kids love, and it's great and it works. So.
Right, and what's nice about Camp Invention is every year it's something different. So the student who comes every year won't get the same lessons, won't get the same modules.
Exactly.
They change every year.
So if you got 4 or 5, and that's just it. Like they don't repeat them and things. So in the many years that since 2015, you and I have been talking about this on the radio. I don't think we've seen the same thing in that 8 years that we've been talking about it here, or 9 years going on now talking about this here. So that's impressive. It's really, and everything's themed, and we'll tell about the 4 different ones for this year, but and they all have different purposes. Sometimes it's a thing that kind of teaches them like business skills, how to set up a business or organization, how to do that. Sometimes it's about all right, we're going to create an event. We're going to have a party. How do you plan and create this party and use these things? So it's not all just the math and science. I mean, there's part of it too, because there's days where they're like, why does the sun do what it does? Or why does, and so they're learning that. But some of this is business skills and people skills and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So the projects have sometimes a veil of science, but a whole lot of other skill sets in there, and organizational skills and planning and prep skills, and you given the importance of why you plan projects and why it's done this way, and creating good habits for these kids. When they how do you handle responsibility? You got to find ways to make you remember, to know checklists so you can understand, and these projects kind of gear towards teaching those kind of things. And there is an order of operations here. This is why it's done this way, and they learn it through these things. So.
Yes.
But that's the cool part about this camp. There's so much
to do,
and there's so much offshoot learning that it's you can't put a description on it. It's all under the veil of the STEM and STEAM, but it's way more than that. It's making a better overall, well-rounded kid at the end of the day. That's what we're doing is giving a kid a well-rounded background, so whatever their passions and interests take them, they've got skill sets to succeed in.
Right, and what's nice about this year is, and every year, is they always try them in Ohio first, because that's where Camp Invention headquarters. That's their test ground. They try them out first in Ohio, and then
quite a few inventions. I think the airplane that technically came out of Ohio. Right. I mean, they flew in Kitty Hawk.
And the Wright brothers.
The Wright brothers were out of Ohio.
That's right. And so they try it there, and then they work out the kinks, and then they do it nationwide the following year. So, this camp has been going on over 30 years.
Yeah. So if you want to see what next year is, you got to go to the Ohio for the testing ground.
Exactly. Take your kids to Ohio and then.
But yeah, it is really a great thing. Now, let's talk about the 4 modules that this year's campers are going to be getting to work on.
All right. So this year's camp is called Illuminate.
Okay.
And so the first one is called In the Game. Campers team up as they investigate the science of sports ball design and personalize a light-up board game, then add a unique logo and a name. So it's science, physics type of thing, but it's also sports.
Absolutely.
They pulled sports into it, which is really cool.
Hand-eye coordination, other aspects that
exactly
you practice to get better at.
Right. So I think that's going to be a big hit.
Yeah.
Another one's called Let's Glow. When they build a customized glow box, campers discover different forms of light, finding inspiration in illuminating inventions and animals that glow.
You know how many all your kids are going to be in their bedrooms at night, under the blanket, the lights off. And they're playing with their Let's Glow.
That's right. Right. It's kind of like a light bright, but it's more than that.
Sure. Way smarter than the old school
right.
light
It's like 3 or 4 boards that they're going to get to design and illuminate. It's really neat.
I'm not going to lie. One of my favorite toys as a kid was Light Bright. I didn't have the patience to not lose all the pegs and everything, because that's what kids do, but I did enjoy my Light Bright back.
Right. So this is not light bright, but it reminds me of light bright.
Light bright like.
Yeah, light bright light. That's hard to say.
I know.
Okay, the third one is called Operation Hydro Drop, to cultivate awareness of real-world water challenges. Campers engineer a tiny house with crops to explore water-based technology and sustainable design thinking.
So they basically learn the elementary of how to create an irrigation system and plumbing and understanding how does the water come from the pond or lake to your house or to the crops or to and so they learn all of that and you could one of the most valuable commodities in the world is water.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that'll, and that's great because it's more back to problem solving skills and teaching that. I mean, water is the tool we're using, but it's like, okay, it's not working. How do we figure this out? How do we get water from here to here?
Exactly.
And that's what these kids will be working on. So that's a cool one. I love that.
Yeah. And the last one is all about inventions, which is what I really like. It's called Prototyping Studio. Campers get creative as they transform their ideas from initial sketches to working prototypes using everyday items. So that's what you do when you invent something. You have to give a prototype in order for them, for them to actually get a patent.
Create those next Inspector Gadgets out there.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well,
so this would be really cool.
And I'm telling you, if you look at your computer people, your engineer, people that do that kind of thing, I guarantee every single one of them as a kid are tearing open clock radios and toasters and doing stuff like that. That's that's where their passion. So if your child has this is a chance to foster that and get a chance to see if that's where they are. And if it is, grow that, because those are your artisans. Those are your, whenever you talk about these like watchmakers or people that are just skilled artisans in those things, that's the traits they have.
Right. So if you look at all four of them, it really talks about the whole child.
Yeah, it does.
The whole child is going to be creativity, problem solving, team building. This whole camp has it all.
Absolutely.
Innovation, invention.
It's well-rounded. It's, giving them a chance to get a good background of basics on this to really spark interest, really.
Right.
They find out, hopefully they get into one of these modules and then they just fall in love. And next thing you know, they got a passion for could be water irrigation, could be it could be in creating games and getting into that world. It could be getting into this art side and creating or saying, I want to be the guy that creates the next product that we all need for our lives. And so all of these kind of foster that kind of stuff and it takes the kid and maybe it's none of that. Maybe it's the kid wants to be a business owner, but guess what? They want to work for a Fortune 500 company, buy and sell stocks. Guess what? There are skill sets in every one of these modules that will serve them well in that field as well, too.
Right.
So that's why this is so cool. So regardless, if your kid becomes a scientist or the next great inventor or becomes, CEO of Procter & Gamble, I don't know. That's these skill sets, the things and again, they don't know the difference. They're literally thinking it's just fun.
They're
having
fun.
Cool. We just created this cool board game today, or we just created this cool light box today. That's what we did. And but then he realized, then later on when they start getting into the other parts, they're like, this is what they're talking about when we were doing that light bright thing. Now, this is the science behind what they were talking about there.
Right.
Especially when you get into that Operation Hydro Drop, I imagine, because that's physics. There's a lot of principles in that one that they're going to be learning. And, gravity. Those are a lot of science they're going to be learning that kind of through that module.
True. So it's going to be a really good camp.
Now the caveat here is time is running out to get your kids signed up here. We space is limited.
Yes.
And have we passed the codes from Camp Invention, all the discount codes?
No, there's
one more left.
There's one for 15.
Okay.
If somebody needs that one, I don't have the new form with me.
Okay. Yeah, the one I got's outdated.
Right. But
if you go to invent.org/camp, and that is the full web page for the national thing. And then there's going to be a tab or a button or link that says find a camp near you.
Yes.
And you click that, you type in Roswell or 88201 or some kind of locator for here, and then Peggy's Camp Invention will pop right up there. And then you click on it, you can watch videos on all the different modules.
Yes, which is nice.
Yeah,
so the kids can get excited before they come.
If you want, if we didn't explain it well enough to you here, you can kind of see it for yourself there on those. And then, of course, you can register your child for the camp there, too. Now, Peggy, thanks to generous donators here in our community, can offer partial scholarships for this. The entire camp costs what?
$285.
However, you're like, oof, I can't, or I got 3 kids.
There is a multi-child discount if you don't go with partial scholarships.
Yeah.
And you can call the 800 number and they'll tell you the
Yeah, and exactly. Yeah, and we'll give you that here in a second. But if you do need support for or help with the partial scholarship, the thing is we do not want you to register through the website. You need to register directly through Peggy. So if you do need a partial scholarship, and what you got to do is you call Peggy, tell her what your situation, and then she'll work with you, And
I try to work with everybody.
We always want the parents to pay something, so we ensure they show up and participate. But we can do a lot of work here on helping you do that if you just talk to Peggy. Let your it's a case-by-case basis on that.
Let me help you.
Yes, but call her direct, and you can do so by calling Peggy at 575-420-9955. Again, that's 575-420-9955. Or if you'd rather shoot her an email, P. Bolin, and that's the letter P, BOHLIN, 2016, 2016, at gmail.com. So pbolin2016 at gmail.com. Shoot her an email or call her 575-420-9955. And of course, if you have any questions about the camp or logistics, you can do either one, and Peggy will get back to you. But if you do need the partial scholarship, that's the only way you can register. We can't apply the scholarships when you go through Camp Invention because the monies come from different accounts, and it's handled a different way. Call direct. Now, if you don't need a scholarship or if you want to take advantage of the multi child fees, there's a 1-800 number.
Right, they should call.
1-800-968-4332. 800-968-4332. You can do all that. Now, if you don't need any discounts, you just want to sign your kid up, you can go to the website, invent.org /camp, put in Roswell, and then the form will be right there when you get to the Roswell page. You fill it out and everything else.
Right, and I can also give them the codes when I'm at home because I can pull them up on my computer in case they want to talk to me first and then go, okay, yes, I would like those codes.
Sure.
I do want to mention again, the camp is from June 3rd through the 7th, the first full week in June, from 9 to 3:30. There is extended daycare in case you want to send your child and you have to work.
We get it. Your life might start before 9 a.m. and
you
can't.
Right. And it starts at 7:30 in the morning and goes to 5:30. And, they do things there too. They don't just sit around.
Oh yeah, it's not babysitter camp. It's actually more camp.
Right. They have some fun games and that kind of thing.
Now, granted, you don't miss anything by not doing it either. So don't feel like, well, shoot, I want more camp. I want them to go. Now, yeah, great, but don't feel like if you have to do that or your kid's not going to get every experience. No. They will get all the experience.
Right.
This is just an opportunity for parents that can't get there. They're at work by 9 o'clock or they can't be there at 3:30 to pick them up. They got to wait another hour.
This is a good option.
This is an option for them to say, okay, now you don't have to get out of work early or jump through 37 hoops to pick your kid up or drop your kid off for that.
Right, exactly.
So you got a little grease time to do that. So and it's now your problem's going to be if you show up a little early and there's stuff going on. Your kid's like, I'm not ready to go. I'm staying till 5:30. I'm going to finish this. Now that's between you and your child.
That's true. That's true.
But please, I do want to ask with your counselors, your LITs in training, is that still available? Or
yes, so leaders in training, those entering 7th through 9th. So if they're currently in middle school, they can be a leader in training. It's $100 cheaper. I can't give any additional partial scholarship, but it's $185, which is nice. They learn leadership skills. They shadow and leadership intern. They work with teachers.
They have a foot in both. They participate in the projects and things like the campers do, but they also help the counselors, wrangle and help pass out supplies and just be an aid to the counselors while they're there. So So they kind of have a foot in the leadership side and in the camper side.
Right. And then, of course, we have leadership interns, which are high school and college kids. Yeah. And then we have the teachers. But again, I want to mention $285 for those who need partial scholarships. That they go through me.
Yes.
I'm still taking donations as well. I just got 2 donations yesterday.
Awesome. So if you'd like to make donations, now here's the good news. Whatever money doesn't use this year, it goes to a bank.
And can be used next year.
So some of you donated last year. It's paying for kids at camp this year.
No, actually, I used up all the money last year.
Oh, last year was used up. Okay, so this is all fresh. But if there's leftover, it rolls over.
Right,
So,
exactly.
So don't worry. If you make a donation and it doesn't get used this year, I guarantee it'll put a kid in camp for if not this year, to the next year. And that's so. If you'd like to make those donations, again, call Peggy direct, and because we have a separate fund account that stuff goes to, and so that's part of the reason why we can't go through the website to register for partial, because that money's here, not there.
Well, actually, it is
there, but it's
but
not
I'm the one
accessible.
who has the codes. I'm the one who has the power.
Yeah, it is for transparency purposes. The camp inventors know what's in there and how much, so Peggy just can't take it at a whim.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
But please, and again, invent.org is the website /camp. We'll take you there, or you can always call the 800 number 800-968-4332. Anything for partial scholarships, local questions about logistics or anything at this year's camp, get a hold of Peggy direct at 575-420-9955, 575-420-9955, or email her pbolin2016@gmail.com. The letter P, BOHLIN 2016@gmail.com. Good deal.
Yeah.
Is that it? Did we get it all?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I think we got all.
I think
and again,
we
it's
did.
June 3rd through June 7th. The camp runs 9 to 3:30. There is the extended camp hours there that run from
7:30 to 5:30
to 5:30. Either way, and then of course this is geared for kindergarten through 6th grade. Is the camp
Entering
age.
kindergarten to entering 6th grade? Yes,
That's the age group.
Right, and lunch is not provided, but snacks
There will be
are.
snacks and stuff. So you bring a bag, sack lunch or whatever, and then but they'll have breaks for cookies and milk or whatever.
Right,
snacks or
there'll
fruit
be
or whatever.
snacks.
Yeah.
So
They won't be hungry when they leave. Don't worry.
No, but they will be tired when they leave.
That we can guarantee.
That's the key.
That way, so
Because they will talk until about dinner time, and then it's
so
feed
them and hose them off and put them to
that's
bed.
right. Exactly, because they're going to be very excited. They're going to love this camp. They always come with smiles on their face. And
that's the great part about it, whether they're in kindergarten, and that's the cool part, is if you got a child that's in 1st grade and a child that's in 4th grade, they're doing the same projects, but they're learning it at different levels.
Yes.
And so they're doing the same thing, and so they can relate and do that. And by the way, they'll have the same toys, so they won't fight over who got what and who's the coolest.
That's
toy.
right.
All that kind of thing. We don't have to worry about that. They got the same. So
exactly.
it's all good. So, well, thank you, Peggy.
Sure, and thank you.
She's got some rockets to launch. We need to let her go. She's going
I'm
to space.
busy.
She's going to space at 10 o'clock. We got to go. Thank you,
All right,
Peggy.
thank you, Mike.
All right, 8:44. Let's pause for news. Chavis County Sports Update, quick break, and all that good stuff. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The abducted 10-month-old child from Clovis has been found alive, and a suspect is in custody after the girl was reported missing and her mother was found shot to death in a Clovis park on Friday. 10-month-old Elia Marie Torres has been found and is currently in a hospital, according to Clovis police. While police said a suspect was also apprehended, they are providing no further details. On Friday, police did find 23-year-old Samantha Cisneros and 23-year-old Taryn Allen dead in Ned Howe Park near Clovis. A 5-year-old girl was also found with a gunshot wound, and that girl is also recovering at a hospital. The officers said they became concerned that there was another child present during the crime because of a car seat, stroller, and baby bottle found nearby. Family members then told police about Cisneros' 2 children. That's when an Amber Alert was issued. Flooding problems have forced the Roswell Police Department to close its lobby and public records areas until further notice. The building at 128 West 2nd Street flooded due to burst pipes in the ceiling. The Roswell Daily Record reports the issue was discovered about 3 a.m. on Sunday. Although the pipes have been repaired and the flooding has stopped, a city spokesperson told the Record that maintenance staff continues to address the water damage. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. It's off to the softball playoffs for the Goddard Rockets. You might not think so by the look of the score of their final doubleheader of the year. On Friday, losing to Lovington 15-0 and then losing 13-2 in the second game. But although Goddard finishes 13-13 overall, 3-6 in district play, they got the 11th seed. See, they weren't even close to the cut line. They will take on Bernalillo in Bernalillo Friday at 4 o'clock. Bernalillo is the 6th seed. Meanwhile, Roswell maybe had a pretty decent case, even though they finished with a 9-12 record, 4-8 in district, but they did not get invited to the 6A softball dance. But on Friday, they took care of hapless Clovis. I think we can put it that way. Roswell wins the first one 30-2 and the second game 20-0. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm temperatures for the next couple of days, and the wind will be a little gusty today, especially around Carlsbad and Artesia, up to 45 miles an hour. Wind at 10 to 25 miles an hour around the Roswell area. For the overnight hours, clear and windy. We're in the upper 50s, looks like upper 80s, sunny, and a little bit breezy on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Wall Street still climbing. Disney earnings today. More Tesla job cuts. Stocks rising to start this week. All three major indexes up yesterday. The Dow riding a 4-day win streak. NVIDIA carrying the NASDAQ up nearly 200 points. Wall Street building off of last week's gains. Investors holding out hope for a September rate cut. Not much in terms of economic updates this week. Traders turning their focus on key corporate reports. Walt Disney Company earnings this morning. Wall Street forecasting earnings per share up 17%. Revenue likely up a little more than 1%. Investors focused on streaming numbers. A slight decline expected from the previous quarter. Shares of Walt Disney Company up 28% this year. New FAA investigations into Boeing this week. More layoffs at Tesla. Most recent cuts in the software, service, and engineering sectors. The move comes after Elon Musk announced Tesla's cutting 10% of its workforce. More than 6,700 employees in 4 states affected by the layoffs. Tesla stock jumped nearly 2% after the report. Please join me twice each weekday for the Lou Dobbs Business Report, right here.
Business news you need to know. Keep listening for more. This is the Lou Dobbs Business Report.
A lot has changed since Goya launched its coconut water. Leg warmers in the 80s.
Here we go. 1, 2, turn around.
Dancing lambada in the 90s. And in the 2000s, waiting hours to connect to the internet. But what hasn't changed is that Goya coconut water continues to be deliciously refreshing and has that sweet tropical flavor you love so much. Goya coconut water. So good, it's always in style. Find it in the Goya section of your local grocery store. If it's Goya, it has to be good.
Senator Greg Nybert is known as a conservative Republican who is effectively fighting for us in Santa Fe. In the last session, Greg Nybert helped stop harmful legislation that would penalize New Mexico businesses with outrageously expensive financial burdens. He knows small businesses do not need more regulation. Greg Nybert helped defeat progressive attempts to make it illegal for New Mexicans to own certain types of firearms and firearm accessories. He knows it's important to protect our rights. During his legislative career, Greg has been responsible for stopping numerous anti-oil and gas bills. He knows it is important to protect our jobs. Senator Greg Nybert is the only candidate for District 27 who has a proven record of protecting us from big government intrusion. Greg Nybert stands for the rights of the people and pledges to continue his work. Please vote for Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've convinced yourself it's warm enough to swim in your pool for the first time this season, even if the temperature still carries a hint of fading cold. Who cares? You've paid your winter dues. With hours inside and too much pie, it's time to open your pool. Barbecues, suntans, and games of Marco Polo. Here you come. The only question is, how ready is your pool? It has been waiting patiently for this day too, ready to make your neighbors drool. If you rely on BioGuard products, get ready to slap on some sunscreen and fire up the grill. Not only does BioGuard provide simple solutions, they also have expert dealers who can help you be the best pool owner you can be. Because when your eyes sparkle at the side of your pool, they should always return the favor. Visit your BioGuard dealer at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, and start the season off right.
We cut to order, special order, products sold and new. You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
Mayday! 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 Attention Roswell and surrounding areas. Trade in and trade up to a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for thousands less during May Trade Days at the all-new Roswell Ford. The all-new Roswell Ford has new management and a whole new attitude. And this week, any trade goes. Stuck in your loan or lease? Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth, regardless of make or miles. Get huge savings on new Fords with rates as low as 0% for 66 months with no payments till July 4th. Plus, we have a great selection of low mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. We've partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 15/15/2000 finance on select models with approved credit.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our Cookie Two-Step Ice Cream is a creamy vanilla ice cream with hints of brown sugar, chunks of chocolate cream-filled cookies, and tasty chocolate chip cookie dough pieces. Cookie Two-Step has everybody's taste buds two-stepping, and 1 and 2.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell Ice Cream at Walmart Supercenters.
Are you or a loved one having a hard time getting to your medical appointments? At Artesia General Hospital, we believe that transportation should never be a barrier to good health. That's why we're excited to announce our new non-emergency medical transportation services. Each of our vans is wheelchair accessible, and our friendly certified drivers go the extra mile by meeting you at your doorstep and ensuring a comfortable ride to your Artesia General Hospital services. Rides are available Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Schedule your ride today by visiting artesiageneral.com/transportation or calling 575-736-8211.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The Goodyear Rubber Company researched and concluded that shoes wear out faster on the right foot than on the left. To fix this, just walk backwards for half the day. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8:56. Got a few minutes here before the top of the hour. Stay tuned next hour. We'll have the folks around 9:15 or so from the Chaves County Health Council join us, and we'll get an update from them. I usually bring one of the kind of clients or businesses that kind of do some support here in the community as well too. So we'll probably have a guest with them as well too. So that's coming up next hour. You know, earlier I was watching. I was on Facebook, and I mentioned yesterday we were talking about Netflix, and some of the shows. Of course, we were talking about the roast and all that. But a movie that came out, I guess Friday last week or whatever, is this movie called Unfrosted, and it is the Pop-Tart story, Kellogg's Pop-Tarts. It's got an all-star cast. I think it's Jerry Seinfeld's whole brainchild, but I'm not sure. But Melissa McCarthy's in it. I just saw Hugh Grant's in it. Just a slew of stars. It's just who's who of Hollywood right now, it seems like. But I just saw a clip from the movie, and it was weird. It's funny, but it's out of context. So I'm like, this movie's going to be out there a little bit, I think, because the scene I saw was between Melissa McCarthy and Hugh Grant. Melissa McCarthy's dressed up like Miss Debbie, Little Miss Debbie, maybe. I'm thinking maybe that's Little Debbie. Maybe it's Little Debbie. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think she's in a Little Debbie outfit. And Hugh Grant's wearing like a crown or a king's outfit. Like he's a king. And they're just taking barbs. I like your Burger King crowd. I like your... And then, but that's the whole clip. And out of context, I'm like, what does this got to do with Pop-Tarts? And I'm thinking, like, this is a comedy. It's a comedy, but telling the story of Pop-Tarts. And so I think this thing's going to be out there. I don't know. Now that I'm looking at the trailer, I think I'm going to like this thing. But I don't think my wife will. And people that don't like that certain kind of storytelling where it gets a little jumpy and then they throw in comedy that may distract people if they're... I just got a feeling this movie may not be everyone's cup of tea. It might be mine, but I think there's going to be a lot of people that probably are going to find that movie off-putting, just based off the little clip I saw, because some people are going to get that and think it's funny, and people are going to think it's stupid. And it's a fine line between funny and stupid sometimes. So now I'm piqued even more. I'm like, what is going on with this movie? Because that clip alone just threw me off, because I'm thinking this is going to be a little bit more like the Beanie Babies movie or something where there's a story and there's witty banter, but I got a feeling he might be going Seth MacFarlane on this and having offshoot things and stuff. Like where Seth MacFarlane, like Family Guy style, where he'll talk about something and then he'll make an 80s reference and they flash back to an 80s reference. I'm wondering if this is going to have a lot of that going on in it. I'm not sure, but anyway, I saw a clip and I'm more confused than cleared up on the movie. So I don't know, but I'm still in. It's the fact that it's Jerry Seinfeld, and Jerry Seinfeld hadn't done anything in a while, and I am a fan of Jerry Seinfeld comedy. I grew up loving and watching Seinfeld. I like the Comedians in Cars a bit he does on Netflix. I like all that, so I'm in. But this might not be for everybody. We'll see. All right, it is closing in on 9 o'clock. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
Your home for Sean Hannity in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
This hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The destruction is widespread, and at least one death is blamed on powerful storms that have devastated communities near Tulsa.
One tornado ripped through the town of Barnsdall, Oklahoma, just north of Tulsa Monday night. Roger Edwards, lead forecaster of the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, says from Monday to early Tuesday, They received 15 reports of tornadoes throughout the Midwest.
Eastern Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma, and I'd say central and eastern Missouri still have a threat for severe wind, tornadoes, and hail.
The storms began Monday with gusty winds and rain, but at night, tornadoes began hitting northern Oklahoma. 2 areas hit. Sulphur and Holdenville are still recovering from a deadly tornado late last month. In Kansas, some areas received hail the size of an apple. I'm Donna Water.
Israel is going after Hamas in Rafah after rejecting a ceasefire plan accepted by the terror group. Israel says that proposal fell far short of meeting its core demands. President Biden about to deliver a Holocaust remembrance speech at the U.S. Capitol.
Today's ceremony comes as the Hamas attack on Israel and controversy over the war in Gaza have sparked new waves of violence and hateful rhetoric toward Jews and disruptive demonstrations on college campuses across the country. The White House says the president will issue a forceful condemnation of anti-Semitism as he continues to balance support for Israel with his efforts to constrain the war in Gaza.
And that's White House correspondent Greg Clugston. Prosecutors have called Stormy Daniels to the stand at former President Trump's New York criminal trial. Daniels is the woman at the center of a non-disclosure agreement with Mr. Trump. Checking Wall Street now, stocks are higher. The Dow is up 110 points. The Nasdaq ahead 33 and the S&P better by 16 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
In China, the assailant's weapon of choice was a knife.
China's state media has reported a knife attack at a hospital in the country's southwest, with several people injured. China's official Xinhua agency called the attack in Yunnan province a vicious assault. The suspect involved in the attack has been arrested, according to a local TV channel. Witnesses told local media that medical staff were among the injured. Knife attacks have happened before in China, often at kindergartens. A man with a knife killed 6 people and wounded 1 other last July at a kindergarten in southeastern China's Guangdong province. I'm Karen Chamas.
Chinese President Xi's visit to European ally Serbia falls on a symbolic date, 25th anniversary of the bombing of the Chinese embassy during NATO's air war over Kosovo. American jets dropped 5 bombs on the Chinese embassy compound in Belgrade, setting it on fire and killing 3 Chinese nationals. News and analysis at townhall.com. Looks like Boeing has some catching up to do in its competition with its European rival. Airbus holds a sales lead over Boeing.
That's even before Boeing encountered more fallout from manufacturing troubles and ongoing safety concerns. Airbus has outpaced Boeing for 5 straight years in plane orders and deliveries. And now Boeing is facing a government-mandated production cap on its best-selling plane. Yet aviation analysts say the European company is unlikely to extend its advantage much further, despite having customers clamoring for more commercial aircraft. That's because Airbus already is making planes as fast as it can and is sold out for the rest of the decade. John Scott reporting.
Vladimir Putin beginning his 6th term as Russia's president after destroying his political opposition, launching a devastating war in Ukraine, and consolidating power. Already in office for almost 25 years, Putin is the longest-serving Kremlin leader since Stalin. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder, and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tracing the Heroes
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
Yes.
Best thing about it? Not Monday.
It's the twoest of all the days.
Exactly. So, something I learned recently.
Uh-huh.
And now it got me thinking.
Uh-oh.
We have sitcoms and TV shows.
Sure.
And many of them have spin-offs.
Yeah.
But has there ever been a spin-off of the spin-off before?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to think of one. There's a new one that is a spin-off
Happy
of a
Days
spin-off.
begat Alice's Restaurant, which begat...
Happy Days begat Morton and Mindy.
Okay, it also begat Morton and Mindy. But it also, I want to say that begat Joni Loves Chachi.
You know what?
And
Yeah,
Joni Loves
that
Chachi
begat
something else, I want to say.
Charles in Charge?
Charles in Charge.
But I don't think that was begat it.
It also happened again
because
with...
Charles in Charge was a different character.
It happened again with Blackish begat, I think like the Family-ish or something. There was like a spin-off of a spin-off from Blackish.
Yeah, I know, okay. Well,
so it's happened a couple of times, but it's rare.
Well, add another one.
Okay.
Big Bang Theory.
What, are they spinning something off of Young Sheldon?
Yes.
Okay.
Georgie, his older brother.
Uh-huh.
They're going to do a spin-off show, I think in the fall, of the Georgie, his brother, and his now wife, girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Having the kid, and I don't know how that's going to play out because in the Big Bang Theory, I'm pretty sure his brother is like married and divorced 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Now, but I'm going to guess this because if you know the lore of the story, Sheldon's brother, Georgie, is Dr. Tire.
Okay.
He owns a chain of Dr. Tire stores all over Texas. He's rich.
Yeah.
But in young Sheldon, his wife, his dad, the wife's dad owns the tire store. So obviously, I think this is where the tire thing comes from, is from this dad.
Okay.
But I'm kind of, because if I remember right, they divorce. Like I think Georgie's single in Big Bang Theory.
Sure.
Who's played by the dude from Stand By Me, who's married to Rebecca Romaine.
Fat kid.
Yeah. He plays adult Georgie.
Doggone it. Jerry O'Connell.
Jerry O'Connell, thank you. He plays the adult version of Georgie in Big Bang Theory.
Okay.
The kid that they get to play him in Young Sheldon?
Yeah.
Could be his kid, man.
I mean, I've seen the kid. He has the place of in Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
I can kind of see
it's not only the mullet, but even in the face and everything and the mannerisms, they nail it, you know. Actually, they do a good job of that. Like if you looked at the family members from Big Bang Theory when they showed the sister and all that,
yeah,
I think they do a good job of recreating younger versions of them in younger Sheldon. The problem that they have is Meemaw shows up in Big Bang Theory.
Oh,
it's not the same. Like if you want a couple of Easter egg things about Big Bang Theory, one of them is Meemaw, who's played by Annie Potts in Young Sheldon, is played by a completely different actress in Big Bang Theory. Now, that being said, Annie Potts plays the younger Meemaw, but older Meemaw looks nothing like Annie Potts. Not even remotely the same.
Huh.
The other, if you want to know a big Easter egg, kind of weirdo, is Amy, Farrah Fowler's mom.
Right.
Is two different people in that series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you, in the beginning, when Sheldon and Amy are dating,
Mm-hmm.
there's a FaceTime video that they have with Amy's mom, Sheldon and Amy, and it's basically, they're trying to prove to Amy's mom that she's dating and all this other
that he
stuff.
exists and isn't just some.
But the lady that plays mom is just some actress.
Right.
Well, in the later seasons of the show,
Mm-hmm.
when Sheldon and they get married, they book Teller to be her dad.
Oh.
And Kathy Bates to be her mom.
I see.
So at the end of the series, Kathy Bates is her mom. But the one other time they show her mom is
Mm-hmm.
a completely different actress.
It's funny when you dive into the families of
Yeah.
the side characters in sitcoms, because and again, this is something only people who are in radio know.
Yeah.
It's gonna do you no good outside of that. But Topanga from Boy Meets World, at one time she had a sister that just disappeared. She had two different sets of parents.
Yeah.
Over the course of three different sets of parents over the course of the series. It just became different, as
Right.
actors were available.
Almost like a soap opera.
Yeah, at one
Today,
point-
the role of so-and-so will be played by.
At one point, her dad was one of the members of the Beach Boys.
Nice.
So, that was
kind of
a whole-
went all over on the map.
That was
there.
a whole thing. So,
The other ones I like pointing out is if you watch the first season of Big Bang Theory, some of Sheldon's idiosyncrasies aren't showing up yet.
I've noticed that he's not as
He doesn't knock.
OCD.
He doesn't knock. Like the 3 knocks, he doesn't do that in the first couple seasons.
He's
First season.
also, he's more of a norm. I don't want to say normal. I shouldn't. He's more heteronormative in the first episode,
is.
especially in that he notices the attractive female.
Yeah.
That would never be a.
But
Sheldon
later,
trait.
yeah, he does. It's not even on his radar. So yeah,
Right.
he evolves that character as they realize the show's a hit and they got to create content.
We're gonna need to flesh this
But-
out a bit.
Like his OCD is not nearly as pronounced at the beginning of that series.
Is there a character whose story you would have wanted to follow after a series ended? Can you think of one that you specifically would have loved to? I wonder where they end up, because I can think of a couple.
Yeah. Yes. Unfortunately, most of that are series that didn't really finish.
Yeah,
You're kind of like, dude, what happened there?
you got left hanging.
Yeah. Let me think. To be honest, Big Bang Theory is a little like that. Like,
Yeah.
I would love to see what happens to them after they all kind of be adults.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see a little bit with Sheldon here and young Sheldon. Like, they're occasionally Amy and adult Sheldon chime in. Like, he narrates the show
Right.
and all that. And I'm fearing, because that show's about to end. Like, there's 4 episodes left of young Sheldon, and it's done. There's no more young Sheldon.
See, I knew they had canceled it, but
And so I did see something online that I guess the adult versions of Amy and current versions of them, modern versions,
Right.
Does make an appearance in the finale.
Okay.
Like them, you don't hear them, you see them.
right.
Sometimes you just hear them. Like even Amy chimes in from time to time, like "love you," and she'll
Aw.
it's usually when she's talking to adult Sheldon.
Yeah.
He'll say something. He's like, "Actually, that's not right at all." He's like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Love you," and then she does a Skeletor and pops out.
Yeah. Till we meet again. I'm just here for the appearance fee.
Yeah.
The one that I've thought about was Haley and Dylan from Modern Family.
Yeah.
Because the last season, Haley, the older daughter who's the party animal, the recluse, the SLUT, she sort of gets her stuff together. They have her and Dylan have twins. They get married. And then the series just ends. And you're like, that's the one story I wish I could know. Where does it go from here?
Sure.
Because Dylan's a friggin' idiot.
Yeah.
And she ain't much better. She's just starting to kind of get her crap together. But
And then there are shows that I wanted to see more, but the way they wrote it, you're like, well, that kind of like Sons of Anarchy.
Community was
not Mayans. Mayans is not as good as Sons of Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of Mayans. I mean, I've watched it, and I've tried, and I'm going to try again, but I can never get through Mayans. Sons of Anarchy, I loved. It got really dark the last seasons, but those first couple seasons did a good job of selling you into liking the character.
Mm-hmm.
And so, granted, spoiler alert, they kill everybody off in that show. By the end, all your main characters are dead. Hence the reason they keep talking. Like, I see it every time. They're going to reboot or they're going to come out with another Sons of Anarchy. I'm like, how? Jax Teller's dead. Spoiler alert. The mom's dead. Spoiler alert. The dad's dead. Spoiler alert. They're all dead because they're in a biker gang, and this is what happens in the criminal element.
But hey, the dog made it, so that's fine.
But I kind of wish I would have liked to seen like, what happens years later? Like, what's a biker guy look like years later?
That's easily retconned, though. You could say everybody died, then they pan back, and there's still one guy whose arm is just like and then 6 months later he's learning how to walk again, and it's the reboot. You can retcon anything in Hollywood,
I guess, but the way Jack Teller went out, he kind of went out with a blaze of glory. It'd be really tricky to pull that one off as we brought him back.
There were so many people after Walter White was clearly, spoiler alert, dead on the ground at the end of the series.
Yeah.
People are like, well, he looks like he was twitching a little bit as the cops showed up. It's like, no. He was dead.
What? Let me go the other way real quick, and I went on a lot of time.
Yeah.
Shows that you're kind of glad we're ending. It's like, it's about time.
Yeah, Scrubs.
Scrubs.
I loved the first 8 seasons of that show, but when they tried to milk a stone in season 9 for the med school thing, I hated that.
I kind of felt like that with Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that show, but that last season, they rushed it and did so much to it. I was like, you know what? I'm glad this thing's done. They ended this poorly compared to the rest of the story. It's so much detail, so much this, and then it was like, you got one more season, wrap it up, you know? And it was wrapped up in a way that I don't think satisfied.
Yeah, the last episode of season 8 of Scrubs was called My Finale. It was a 2-parter, and it was called My Finale. It was a perfect ending to a series.
Yeah.
Then like, we're gonna do another season.
And I am in the camp. Sopranos ended that lazily.
Yeah.
You can fight artistic license and ambiguous endings all you want. To me, I don't think he knew how to end it. He went out the cheap way. That's what I think.
Don't stop.
I think he made it. And to be honest, I think he did it just in case. Just in case he had a hankering to dust off Sopranos.
I mean, you do leave that dangling participle, but boy, did Gandolfini go ahead and take care of that for him.
Well, I'll say there will not be another Tony Soprano, unless they just completely redo that.
Yeah,
they get Will Sasso to play him or something.
Gandolfini went ahead and wrote himself off. Okay, I know we don't have time. We have a guest, but I just read a story about how Randy Travis put out a new song last week. You know how Randy Travis went through like a massive stroke back in 2013?
Yeah, he did have health
He couldn't
issues.
walk. He couldn't talk.
Yeah.
He just put out a new song last week, and it was revealed that he gave his voice and likeness to an AI and has been training this AI to sing songs for him.
Oh, okay.
So he put out a song, and it's his voice. He got a guy,
but it's an AI.
He got a guy. He's like one of his opening acts who has kind of a Randy Travis sound, and they have him sing the song. They run it through the AI to filter it up to Randy Travis's voice. It's weird.
That is weird.
But
so does Randy get a writing credit or a performing credit?
He's like right there with like the whole thing.
But does he get a performing credit?
Yes. I mean, I would think writing and performing.
Yeah, writing if he wrote it, but I'm like, how's that? That's weird.
Yeah, it's
I
very
don't even know how to wrap my head around. I ain't got time to wrap my head around
Welcome to the future, man.
That takes some thought.
Just saying.
We do have Joanne joining us from the Chaves County Health Council here. I think she's by herself. I haven't heard guests, but she'll join us here in just a few seconds. But before we do that, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm temperatures for the next couple of days, and the wind will be a little gusty today, especially around Carlsbad and Artesia, up to 45 miles an hour. Wind at 10 to 25 miles an hour around the Roswell area. For the overnight hours, clear and windy. We're in the upper 50s. Looks like upper 80s, sunny, and a little bit breezy on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 13%. Winds are out of the west at 8 miles per hour. We do have a red flag warning because of the winds and that 13% humidity right now. That's going to kick in at 11 a.m. this morning, remaining in effect through 8 p.m. tonight. Sunny and 89 today. South winds 10 to 15 this morning, 15 to 20. Gusting as high as 30 miles per hour later today. Tonight, clear and breezy with an overnight low of 56. Southwest winds 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Winds expected to drop 10 to 15 miles per hour after midnight. Wednesday, we do have a fire weather watch from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. tomorrow. Sunny and 89. Once again, northwest winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, skies will be clear. Overnight low of 53, 10 to 20 mile an hour winds out of the west. And then Thursday, we start seeing a drop in temps. We'll drop in the low 80s, sunny and 82. Winds calmer out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Friday, partly cloudy skies and a high of only 76. So definitely cooler than what we're dealing with today. Friday night, we're looking at a slight chance of sprinkles. And then Saturday, 40% chance of rain showers for the afternoon, partly cloudy, 76 for a high. 30% chance of rain showers Saturday night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 54. And a 20% chance at rain showers Sunday, mostly sunny and 82. So cooler and moisture chances for the weekend. We'll see what happens there. All right, it is 9:21. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will have Joanne join us from the Chaves County Health Council. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Have you been admitted to the University of New Mexico? Then it's time to sign up for new student orientation. Whether you're an incoming freshman, transfer, or non-traditional student, at NSO, you'll learn the ins and outs of life as a Lobo. From class schedules to student activities, services and resources to campus living, plus everything in between. So, are you Lobo ready? Your time at UNM begins at NSO. Register for your orientation at nso.unm.edu or apply to UNM at apply.unm.edu.
This is State Representative Candy Spence Ezell. I'm a lifelong farmer and rancher, and for the past decade, I've been watching the radical policies of the so-called progressives in Santa Fe rapidly chip away at our traditional way of life. I've served in the State House for quite a while, and I'm known for saying no to Governor MLG every chance I get. I'm running now for the state Senate, where I have a greater impact in fighting for our economic development, our rights, our freedoms, and our Western way of life. I'm a life member of the NRA. In my time in the legislature, I have received an A+ rating from the NRA every year I've been in office. I am unshakably pro-Second Amendment and always stand up to those trying to destroy our Constitution. I'm Candy Spence Ezell, asking for your vote in the upcoming Republican primary on June 4th.
Paid for by Candy Spence Ezell for State Senate, District 32.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Linen can absorb up to 20 times its weight in moisture before it feels damp. Now, you don't have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom anymore. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio, Joanne's back with us from the Chaves County Health Council. Good morning, Joanne. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. And today we're focusing mostly on Health Council. You know, a lot of times we talk Health Council biz, and we'll do that.
Yes.
But generally, we'll also some of your partnering organizations and businesses that are offering health or services to the community. We like to spotlight here.
Absolutely.
You know, it could be mental health, could be financial stuff for healthcare. It could be the gamut of stuff.
Yes.
But this time, we want to focus on Health Council activities, which, and of course, I think the biggest thing the Chaves County Health Council is probably known for is their annual Health Expo. They do every summer, usually right around back to school time frame. And we are, once again, coming up on that time of year to get ready for it. I know August is a long way away in a lot of brains, but kids are going to be out in like a couple weeks here. They'll be back to school shortly thereafter. They go back earlier this year, so you know, it's that time of year again. But so if you're not familiar, the Health Expo is a community-wide free event. For the kids, they usually do back to school supply giveaways, which even though we're after the school start this year, they'll still do that because we know how that works. They'll break at least a few pencils and lose papers by the time the end of the month hits.
Right.
But then also it's an opportunity for folks to come and get health screenings. You can get prerequisite stuff done, usually like mammograms or glucose screenings. Obviously, there's prerequisites on those. You do have to get an appointment for the mammograms usually. Obviously, you need to fast if you're doing glucose. But they offer all those kind of things at the event. But on top of that, it's resources for anything just community related. Could be healthcare stuff, could be other resources indirectly or directly related to healthcare industry as well. But it's all comfort of life / health issues. And so it's really a chance for you to learn about that stuff. come get your free screenings or if you for some people this is their health checkup each year is to come and get these screenings done, and so we want to make sure that that's available to you again this year. But now's the time if you want to sponsor, if you want to be in the event. Now's the time to get on the horn with the Health Council and make those arrangements, because by the time August hits, everything should be done and in place, and we're just talking about come on out to the event.
Actually, the sponsorship deadline is July 3rd.
Okay.
And there's different levels of sponsorships, and each level comes with different types of perks on it.
Sure.
So that's really important for a lot of marketing.
And it is a community event, but it also does raise funds for the Chaves County Health Council, so they can continue.
every sponsorship, every bit of money that comes in here is used for the expo.
So it's actually goes back
all
into the
expo,
program,
yes,
so it doesn't even go back for some of your other stuff you guys do.
And for the young kids and for the youth, even adults, we have lots of prizes.
Gotcha.
And that's this money buys
yeah,
that.
like usually kids they can win bicycles and
real
backpacks
nice tech
and
stuff.
things. Yeah. So it's as much fun as it is informative and education.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
But again, this year's will be August 24th, and like in years past, they're at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center and the properties around there. I'm going to guess, are we still getting are we going to have other partners here and doing the 5K and all that like in years past?
Absolutely, the fun run it. The Boys and Girls Club is
that's
sponsoring
all
that.
that's going to be happening again this year.
Absolutely.
But and so if you want to get involved with that, sign-ups and stuff will be coming here shortly.
Yes.
But now's the time if you're a business or an organization that wants to have a booth in the thing, or if you want to be a sponsor, and like you said, there's various levels. You get various perks on that, booths and spaced in time and, things like that. The more you sponsor, the more perks you get. It's just like any other thing you do.
Absolutely.
And but all this again goes back to the community, goes to help, and it really is. And I'm telling you, for some people in our community, they probably would not see healthcare professionals had it not be for this event because they don't have insurance or they don't have time or can't afford it, or there's a slew of reasons why people do this.
Last year there was over 1,600 guests that came through the door, so that was really good.
It is a very it's a fun event, but also a much needed and important and staple of the community here.
Betcha.
And so the Health Council needs your help to help pull it off every single year.
Absolutely.
And so that's where we're at. We're at the time where it's time for help. Come sponsor, come volunteer, come be a part of it.
Time goes by so fast. I mean, man.
August will be here in a blink of an eye.
You better believe it.
I mean, the kids will be out of school in a couple weeks, summer vacation, and then right back to school again.
Yep,
it's
right there.
Graduations here in a couple weeks.
Oh, my gosh.
You're already starting to see graduations trickle in online and people graduating.
Yes, sir.
It is the season.
Yes, sir. It is the season, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So talk a little bit about sponsorships and stuff and what people can sponsor and,
Well, as I said, there's different levels, and the best thing to do would be to get a hold of Jennifer. Jennifer's the head person.
She's the coordinator of the
Yes,
sponsorships and all that. Gotcha.
She does a fantastic job. But they can reach her at 575-637-4115. Okay. If you're driving and can't remember that number, just call 211 and we'll give it to you so we can put you directly in touch with her.
That's the one thing that the Health Council's other big thing is when they're not doing the Health Expo. They do foster and keep the 211. Like every community has a 211 hotline that you can call for healthcare information or needs like that. Chaves County Health Council runs the 211 for Chaves County.
Absolutely.
And so when you call 211 here, you get the Health Council. And if you want to ask questions about, where can I find a doctor, or I have a child on the spectrum, who's the professionals I need to seek for that, or I need help with WIC or that kind of thing, who do I need to talk to, or who's I've had roadblocks here or somewhere else. 211's for that kind of stuff.
You bet.
But yeah, if you need questions about anything Health Council, like, hey, what's the sponsorship or anything, guess what? They'll be happy to give that information. Now, do remember, 211 is a non-emergency hotline. So if you've got a medical emergency, 911 does not change any of that.
Absolutely.
But if you just have general health-related questions, looking for a doctor, looking for resources, 211 is that one-stop shop.
You betcha. And something new this year for the Health Expo, we are putting together a Chaves County resource guide.
Okay.
So we've been working on that, on vetting
kind of
information.
like a think of kids. We used to have phone books.
Yes, we used to have phone books.
And it was a book with everyone's phone number in it. So think of this as like that, but for healthcare resources.
Pretty much what it is.
Nice.
So we're hoping we will have it printed out to hand out at the expo. as well as it will go in the newspaper. I believe it's the Sunday before the expo.
Okay, good deal.
So we're trying to get it all to
So
all
save that
Travis
one.
County.
Don't discard that with the other sale flyers. Keep that one
Exactly.
handy there.
Exactly. So under something else that we're doing right now, we have partnered with the Roswell Transit, and we have veterans ride free.
Oh, excellent.
Yep.
On the buses, the Pecos Valley Transit?
Yes, sir. You know, you have to prove that show proof that you're a veteran. If you don't have an ID or something, they will make you one.
Okay.
At the transit.
Probably bring a DD-214
Yes,
if you need an
yes.
ID, because veterans know that's your official
Absolutely.
proof of veteran for
and
everything.
You can ride.
But
The first quarter, we had over 2,000.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So take advantage of that resource.
You
If you need to
bet.
get around town and mobilities. I know we have like our great veterans transport that helps
Yes.
get people to
Mhm.
medical appointments, and they
Yes.
go all over town and all over the state and outside the state. But that's for medical appointments.
Yes.
That's not to get
Yeah.
you to the store or get you to another appointment.
Right.
And so now you can do that through Pecos
You
Transit
bet. Yes,
for free.
sir.
And another tip, as a veteran, what you can also do is the next time you go to the DMV or MVD here in our state, it's not DMV here, it's MVD, go to get your driver's license renewed. If you bring your DD-214 with you and show them that stuff and do all that, they will put a veteran status on your driver's license.
Oh, nice.
There is a V on there, and that is an accepted form as a
Yes,
veteran. They have to
absolutely.
take it. And so once you prove to the MVD that you're a veteran, they can put that on your license. And you can use that as that form of ID.
Nice.
It shows a veteran status on
Very
that way. You don't have to
good.
carry a
You
DD-214
bet.
around.
Nice.
And obviously, if you're a retiree, you have a retiree card. But a lot of
Yeah.
veterans aren't retired. They
Yes.
just served 4 years or whatever.
Right.
You don't technically get
Okay.
a document that says I'm a veteran, except for your DD-214.
Oh, yeah. Good
But you can get that put on your license if you just when you go to the MVD to renew your license, bring your DD-214 with you. And show it to the clerks and all that, and there might be a paperwork you fill out, but when you get your driver's license, it'll have your veteran status.
You bet. That's good information.
Yeah.
Very good information.
By the way, another tip is you get a discount on your property taxes in Chaves County if you're a veteran. If you have not done so already, go talk to the Chaves County Clerk's office and show them that, and you will get a discount on your property.
Very nice.
So I took advantage of that one a few years ago.
Absolutely. Veterans, y'all, thank y'all for your service,
Yeah.
of course, but y'all deserve a lot. Absolutely. So,
But that's cool that they're doing that now.
you
so.
bet. The staff at the transit were actually sponsoring it, so to speak. They were pitching in to help them out.
Okay.
And we thought, together with veterans, it just kind of fits hand in hand.
Absolutely.
So together with
And
veterans, the program of Travis County
And
Health
it serves a
Council.
need and probably alleviates some resources in other groups that are trying to
You
do some
bet,
stuff. It
you
kind of
bet.
allows them to shift gears to some other pressing needs.
Well,
So.
just imagine 2,000 in the first quarter. Most of those weren't riding before.
Mm-hmm.
But now that it's free,
Well,
they're really they're
exactly.
utilizing it, and that's what.
And let's face it, people get older. Veterans get older, and their ability to get themselves around
You
gets
bet,
less
yeah.
and less, and they're more reliant
Absolutely.
on things like that.
Absolutely. You
So,
bet.
but that's good news. Take advantage of it and use it. I know some vets are kind of humble about that stuff. No, you
Yeah.
were in this right. Get on.
You
You need
bet.
you're struggling and need help getting places, and
Yep.
and money is an issue, which it always should be an issue.
Yeah.
We're always worried about money,
Yeah.
even no matter how much you got, you're always worried
Yeah.
about money. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So take advantage of that.
And if you have any questions, just dial 211 and we can help you out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you have questions or need more information, or if you have any issues, dial 211
Absolutely.
and they'll help
We'll
you navigate
direct
to
them.
those.
Definitely so. Definitely
Good deal.
so.
But that's a cool. I'm glad that they've.
It is. We're
brought-
really, really happy with that. That outcome came out great.
Excellent. By the way, speaking of volunteering and serving, the Health Council is always looking for new volunteers, and
You
I know you have a
betcha.
great core of people.
Yes,
We've
yes,
probably
yes.
interviewed almost all of them on the show at one point or another here.
Yeah.
But they need more people to get involved. The more people that are involved, the easier to pull these things off.
Absolutely.
But the more that gets to it. Like,
Yep.
if you have, maybe you've been to the health expo and you're like, man, I love it, but I'd love to see this, this, and this. Well, come to the meetings.
That's what we need.
Let's get involved.
Yes.
Let's see what you can do. Let's add your ideas to it and see if what else can this evolve to.
The
and add
different
to.
lenses, of course. That just makes it all better.
The whole idea of this fair is to meet the needs of the public.
Yes.
And if some needs are not being met that could be met through this, let's find out about it.
Yep, and Jennifer does really, really good after the expo, having a meeting to
With
discuss
triage
that.
and-
yeah,
and
what do y'all think?
The good,
How
the
did it
bad, the
go?
ugly
Yeah,
of this year's
exactly.
event. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but we need volunteers to get involved and to share input and to maybe even getting, another side of the health council that's the less public side is they work hand in hand with our healthcare providers too on training and things like that. Like there's sometimes the health council gets access to experts and things that can serve multiple healthcare entities in our community. And so they had these events. It's like, hey, this is an expert on autism or something like that. Yep. Let's get your doctors from Loveless, from Eastern, from all points in between and in this room, and let's hear that information. That's where the health council does a lot of that too. That side's the less public side of the health council, but if you love doing that kind of stuff, they need volunteers on that side.
Absolutely. I mean, any skill you have, we can put it to work.
Absolutely.
And if you want to be part of making a better community, dial 211. We'll give you more information. Our next meeting is actually tomorrow.
Okay.
It is in person, and it is by Zoom, And in person, it's at 500 North Main, Suite 102. Or just call 211
and
I'll
get you
give
the Zoom link. We'll text your email you the Zoom link
just
here.
Try it out see what you feel.
So you can get the comfort of the meeting in your pajamas.
You betcha.
As long as you're covering up everything. Please cover yourself up. But you don't have to get dressed up or fancy.
Zoom can get you in a lot of trouble.
You're home cooking dinner or whatever when it's going on, and or cooking lunch, then we'll do that. So. But yes, that way you can work it into your schedule, even if your schedule doesn't allow you to be in the building.
Absolutely. Yeah,
but and that's the thing. We just want to get people involved because it really does. It's the more people that get involved with this, the more exposure it gets, the more resources that come to it, the more people can be helped, the more amenities.
You bet.
There's so many great things the Health Council does, but with the help of the public, there's so many more things that could be added to that, and more resources, more amenities, more things that folks can take advantage of.
Absolutely. And we take membership applications throughout the year. It's not just a one-time recruiting.
Yeah, we talk like now because it's a busy season for the Health Council, but this is ongoing all year. They meet monthly, because when they're not executing an event, they're planning for the next one or getting something going on here. And literally the Health Expo is an all hands on deck.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody involved. And like you said, they start planning the day after last year.
Yep. Jennifer gets on it, and she is on it.
Yeah.
She does a fantastic job with it, too.
But if you want to support as a sponsor, or if you're an organization when they get involved, get a booth, now's the time to reach out to the Health Council and get that done, because what we're looking at here is a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff, and logistically it's going to be a little different this year because of the way the school calendar worked out. Usually we try to do this before kids go back to school, but they're going back so early that logistically is not going to work.
Right. And let me just say, and Carrie Moore also helps Jennifer a lot.
Another.
I can't forget her.
Carrie's always, when she's not slinging sandwiches, she's helping
they're a great team.
Which, by the way, if you're hungry, Bewitch's sandwiches, I don't care which one you get, every one of them's good. Everyone, and then when she's got her sides and soups every once in a while, she's got good food. I don't care what it is. I would just say, if you're pretty much open to food and you're like, don't have any, just randomly pick a number and eat it and get it.
Good. There's nothing there that's not good.
Yeah. But I know some people are like, well, I like avocado. I don't like avocado. But I like and so, but if you don't have those kind of versions, just give me the 1940. Just try a different one every time.
And then her drinks, it's just like, wow.
Drinks, teas, and the juice.
Who
all
does
that.
this?
Yeah. She almost, it's because I'm a simple guy when it comes to drinks. I'm kind of like tea, water, Coke.
Yeah.
I grew up in an age where passion fruit. I'm like, and then I'm like, is this an energy drink, an alcoholic drink, or juice? I'm like, what kind of drink is this anymore? Am I going to get drunk or energy or anything off this one? What's this going to do? I don't know. But I'm just like, can I have tea? And they're like, what kind of tea? Tea flavored tea.
Regular?
You mean black tea? Okay, black tea. Give me tea.
Oh my gosh, that is funny. That is. There's so many different ways of making a drink.
Yeah, but yeah, she's on it. But Carrie's involved in a lot of things in our community. But Health Council is one of her passion projects that she's a integral part of in making, and we do appreciate her and all the people that do that. But if you always looking for more, if you have a passion here, if you have maybe a lot of times there's people that they needed these resources and now they're in a better position.
Yeah.
And they're saying, you know what, I'd like to give back. It's kind of like this morning we had the letter carriers and harvest ministry talking about, because this Saturday the postal workers leave your food out by your mailboxes. They're going to pick it out this Saturday. But Amelia, she was talking, and she goes, you know what? When I was a kid, I was one of these people. I was one that needed the food. My family went to food pantries and things like that. And so now, for the last 15 years in her adulthood, she's been doing this because she has that passion. And quite frankly, we need more of those people in our community. So if your passions kind of lines up with the health council's passions, maybe you were that person.
And I'll check with them to see if I can get a flyer and we can blast it out to all our people.
Oh yes, on that too. So absolutely. But this is if you want a great community, it takes you and I and everyone to roll up our sleeves and do that. If you're waiting for other people to do it, it's not going to happen. Yep. So volunteer, get involved, pick your passion. If it's not the health council, then find your passion somewhere else, whatever it is. If it's in kids and coaching, awesome. Mm-hmm. If it's homeless, awesome. But pick your passion and get involved somewhere.
Absolutely.
Or if it's maybe art, maybe you're like, I want to expose more families to art and give them easy art. Okay, great. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Pick your passion and let's make our community better.
You betcha.
But health council does have a lot of needs, and if you'd like to get involved, they can put you to work pretty quick.
Definitely. Just call 211.
Just call 211.
We'll interview you on the spot.
And of course, anything we talked about here with sponsorship or whatever.
Yep.
The Chaves County Health Council does have Facebook and all that, and you're more than welcome to shoot messages and do that. But 211's pretty easy to remember for a lot of people. So anything health council related,
just
questions, if you have signing up, anything, 211, and if they can't do it directly through there, they'll give you the number to the people that can
definitely
help
find out.
you
Any questions about the community? There's events and stuff. We have that information. We can fill you in, direct you.
I would ask this favor: 211 is not a 24/7 hotline.
Yeah.
It's answered by Joanne and volunteers like Joanne.
Yes, me, Emily, and I.
Yeah, and so they have lives. At 2 a.m, guess what they're doing? Sleeping. Just like you are. So if you have a 2 a.m. thought, save it till 8
in
a.m.
Well, and they'll get voicemail, and we tell them, these are our hours.
Leave your voicemail message. But
if it's an emergency, call
think about it. If you're thinking, well, it's 10 o'clock at night, probably not going to be ready to answer that phone. So now that being said, please leave. And if it is an emergency, obviously 911.
Absolutely.
But if I get it, you have your 3 a.m. thoughts. I need to find a doctor. Wait till 7 a.m. or 8 a.m. before you actually enact on that.
We get some calls at different hours, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And I imagine, too, if there's some people that are in need and they're desperate and they probably need something more immediate emergency, not 211. Sometimes they're calling because they don't know where to turn. And so, it's but if you have any issue like that, and even if it's urgent but not emergency, and you're not sure, like, for instance, just an example, maybe you're a domestic victims violence, you're dealing with some of that. Be like, I don't know the refuge number.
Right.
Call 211.
Yeah.
We'll get that number to you.
Or, they can text and they can email also.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the text would be to 575-910-0465.
Okay.
And they can email to 211@ChavezCountyHC.org.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
and they'll get back to you as soon as humanly possible.
It's the weekend, it's a phone call. We'll wait till Monday.
Sure.
But if we get a text or an email,
that's a little more urgent.
Yes,
we're going to forward it along or send it along to people that can address it right
betcha.
now. So absolutely. So please don't forget it. And if that's your only means to remember, then do it, and we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but please, if you're thinking if you just have a question about finding a doctor, or I want to join the health council, what do I got to do? Let's try to do that during the day when people are living their lives.
And for organizations, if you would like to be on our resource list for 211, please give us 211 a call. Let us get your information in case we don't have it, or if we do have it, it needs to be updated. Give us a holler.
Absolutely.
So we can be giving out
so we can give out right information
to
people. And people are like, well, that's not our number.
Yeah.
Well, then give me the right one. And so I can, because we're not intentionally giving you wrong information.
Right,
that's just the latest we got. And
absolutely.
so get up to date with them on that too. And then, and I would, it's like, if you want to volunteer, maybe you say, you know what? Maybe we should make the 211 thing more important. I would volunteer to be the overnight person or something like that. If you want to get more involved or make 211 bigger than it is, then step up and talk and let's see what we can do for that.
Absolutely.
Again, this takes the community to make these things. If you want the resources to work the way you want it, if you're waiting for someone to do it for you, it's not going to happen. You've got to get up and you've got to, speak your piece or get involved or get that train rolling to have it happen.
You bet.
That's what
that would be awesome to have a 24-hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? The only way that's going to happen is we have more people, more resources, and that's what it takes. So if you want to see these things,
yep.
be part of the resources.
Absolutely.
We live in a world where it's so easy to complain because we have so many places to do it. And don't get me wrong, it feels good sometimes. I get it. Why? But if you want things to change for the better, when you're done ranting on Facebook, roll up your sleeves and get involved.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's how it's done. But mark your calendars. August 24th will be the 2024 Health Expo with the Chaves County Health Council at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Like years past, we're going to have a slew of stuff for the kids, a slew of health screenings and things like that, prizes, giveaways. Yes. We're going to have the fun run with the Boys and Girls Club. Yes. We'll probably have the mammogram. Who knows? We'll get the rolling colon or what all the stuff that comes through.
That is so funny.
All the bells and whistles will be here. Absolutely. So all that's good. But August 24th. So mark on your calendars and please make note, parents, that this is after kids are in school. So we can help with school supplies, but think of it as round 2 when they lose the glue and break all the pencils and do all that. Then you come and resupply.
Right. Absolutely.
Or maybe you're thinking, well, I'll get the bare minimum to get them through the first 2 weeks, and then we can do their heavy school supplies at the Health Expo. But either way, just make that note this year, parents, that that's the one slight change in the schedule is this year's expo will be after the start of school.
Yes, hopefully next year we'll get back on track and have it where it needs to be.
But again, that's something that you guys work at your schedule to work because at the end of the day, the dates are the dates. The convention center is available, and the convention center is available, and so. And
you got to work around
those things have to happen before the school even announces the calendar for next year sometimes. So when this date was picked, you probably even know when the start of school was going to be. So, but that being said, that's hopefully it'll work out next year. And part of that too is the state of New Mexico is working out the 180-day, all that with those numbers, and they keep changing the rules. So, if you had this many days already, you can't take away days, even though it's more than these days. So there's a lot of finagling.
A lot to it.
But absolutely. Joan, is there anything else we wanted to cover?
No, I don't think so. I think we did it. I just really wanted to focus on the expo to be sure everybody.
Now's the time.
Yes,
reach it. Call 211. Get on Facebook for the Chaves County Health Council. If you want to be a part of this year's expo as a sponsor, as a vendor, as a volunteer, or something in between, now's the time to get involved in doing all that.
And just call 211, very easy, and we can direct you where you need to go.
And of course, if you want to be a part of the next Health Council meeting, call 211, and we'll get you the Zoom link, and it'll be tomorrow.
You betcha. It is tomorrow at noon.
High noon.
12 o'clock.
High noon. When the sun is the highest point, that's when the Health Council meets.
Always.
That's right. But so be a part of that.
Absolutely.
So, good deal. Well, thank you, Joanne, as always.
Always.
I'm sure you got a few fires to stomp out as we speak right after this, so we'll let you go do that.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you next time, okay?
We'll see you next time, Mike.
All right. It is 9:48. Let us pause for news, weather, Hannity update, political and non-political ads, and whatever else we can come up with before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now, your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. The abducted 10-month-old child from Clovis has been found alive, and a suspect is in custody after the girl was reported missing and her mother was found shot to death in a Clovis park on Friday. 10-month-old Elia Marie Torres has been found and is currently in a hospital, according to Clovis police. While police said a suspect was also apprehended, they are providing no further details. On Friday, police did find 23-year-old Samantha Cisneros and 23-year-old Taryn Allen dead in Ned Hout Park near Clovis. A 5-year-old girl was also found with a gunshot wound, and that girl is also recovering at a hospital. The officers said they became concerned that there was another child present during the crime because of a car seat, stroller, and baby bottle found nearby. Family members then told police about Cisneros' 2 children. That's when an Amber Alert was issued. Flooding problems have forced the Roswell Police Department to close its lobby and public records areas until further notice. The building at 128 West 2nd Street flooded due to burst pipes in the ceiling. The Roswell Daily Record reports the issue was discovered about 3 a.m. on Sunday. Although the pipes have been repaired and the flooding has stopped, a city spokesperson told the Record that maintenance staff continues to address the water damage. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
They even give a shout out to the New York Times and their editors slamming the Biden White House for whining about the press. They want to be covered by Pravda. He can't keep up the rigors of running for president. You know, it's one of the reasons Joe Biden, he's no longer can go up the big boy stairs on Air Force One. So they put him on the little boy stairs with Secret Service agents following him up the stairs in case he falls flat on his face on the little boy stairs. That's why now they won't let him walk to Marine One, because he looks so old and frail and looks like he's about to fall over. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. But you're going to tell us, quality over quantity? So he's going to give short speeches. I just want to say, vote for me. Bye. See you later.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
Joe Biden wants you taxed to the brink, under the thumb of the IRS, and controlled with a digital dollar. That's why thousands of hardworking, patriotic Americans are opting out by diversifying their savings with precious metals like gold and silver. And guess what? Sean Hannity is doing the same. He's been purchasing precious metals like gold and silver from the top-rated company, Goldco. Goldco is a 7-time Inc. 5000 winner, #1 rated gold IRA company with over 5,000 five-star reviews. And they've placed over $2 billion in precious metal sales for people just like you. Right now, they're offering up to $10,000 in bonus silver while supplies last. That's right, up to $10,000 in bonus silver, but only while supplies last. So if you're looking to diversify your savings, call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD to learn how you could get started today. Tell them Hannity sent you and see if you qualify for up to $10,000 in bonus silver. Call Goldco at 855-815-GOLD. That's 855-815-GOLD.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Pretty warm temperatures for the next couple of days, and the wind will be a little gusty today, especially around Carlsbad and Artesia, up to 45 miles an hour. Wind at 10 to 25 miles an hour around the Roswell area. For the overnight hours, clear and windy. We're in the upper 50s, looks like upper 80s, sunny and a little bit breezy on Wednesday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. The Walt Disney Company sustained a loss in its second quarter, hampered by significantly higher restructuring and impairment charges. However, its adjusted profit topped Wall Street's forecast, and its streaming business was profitable. Federal investigators want Tesla to tell them how it developed the fix in a recall of more than 2 million vehicles with the company's autopilot partially automated driving system. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration officials have concerns over whether the recall remedy worked because Tesla has reported 20 crashes since it was issued in December. This week is a relatively quiet one on Wall Street since the bulk of companies in the S&P 500 have already reported their earnings for the first 3 months of the year. This morning it was a mixed open for Wall Street's benchmarks. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
New Mexico Governor Lujan Grisham has pursued an agenda to seriously impair and remove your Second Amendment rights to use, own, or purchase firearms and firearm-related items in our state. Last legislative session, District 27 Republican Senator Greg Nybert worked effectively and successfully with the NRA and other pro-Second Amendment groups to defeat the governor's attempt to ban or register firearms and accessories. We must retain legislators like Senator Nybert, who has the proven knowledge, skills, and experience to stop the liberal progressives from imposing upon our constitutional rights. Senator Nybert is the only candidate running for Senate District 27 to be rated A and endorsed by the NRA. Please vote to retain Senator Greg Nybert for Senate District 27.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Senate.
Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, here to announce that our geraniums are ready. So now the great debate begins. Are they pink or are they raspberry sorbet? Are they orange or are they Caribbean coral? Well, whatever you call them, they're the prettiest geraniums anywhere. We raise them in our own greenhouse, then send them home with you to brighten up the world. So come get yours now while the selection is best. Don't worry about the silly names.
I heard that.
Yes, dear. Coming, dear. Right away, dear. Of course, you're right.
It's time once again for the New Mexico Cattle Growers Association's mid-year meeting happening June 9th through the 11th at the Ruidoso Convention Center. Registration is now open for the Memorial Golf Tournament and trade show with tons of vendors. Plus a Cattle Growers exclusive event, Race Day at Ruidoso Downs. Cost is $70 per person. And don't miss the awards dinner and dance with a performance by Tel Runyon. Cost is $25 per person. To register for this mid-year meeting, log on to nmagriculture.org or call the NMCGA at 505-247-0584. Ad paid for by Lincoln County Lodgers Tax.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agar told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell or call 575-622-4455.
This is the moment you've been waiting for. You've convinced yourself it's warm enough to swim in your pool for the first time this season, even if the temperature still carries a hint of fading cold. Who cares? You've paid your winter dues. With hours inside and too much pie, it's time to open your pool. Barbecues, suntans, and games of Marco Polo. Here you come. The only question is, how ready is your pool? It has been waiting patiently for this day too, ready to make your neighbors drool. If you rely on BioGuard products, get ready to slap on some sunscreen and fire up the grill. Not only does BioGuard provide simple solutions, they also have expert dealers who can help you be the best pool owner you can be. Because when your eyes sparkle at the side of your pool, they should always return the favor. Visit your BioGuard dealer at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, and start the season off right.
We cut to order, special order, products sold and new. You can count on Mays Lumber Company.
You may be wondering why an Eastern New Mexico rancher wants to be part of our state Senate. The answer is simple. I want our conservative values heard in Santa Fe. My name is Pat Boone, and I'm running for New Mexico Senate District 27. This beautiful state is primarily rural land, and my family's been ranching here since 1884. I'll fight for your land rights, your parental rights, and your right to bear arms. I'd appreciate your Republican primary vote on June 4th.
Paid for by the committee to elect Pat Boone, Mark McKay, Treasurer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The first toilet being flushed in a motion picture was in the movie Psycho. Mike thought it was Gone with the Wind. Here's Mike Winters.
Nope. Here's Sean Smalls. Mixmaster Mike Winters had to run out to a quick errand for the very last moment of the program, so I thought I'd give you the final rundown. If you missed any portion of the program today, you can always go back and check it out at your leisure at ksvptv.com, where you can check out the show in its entirety. After the program, Roy will get the interviews pieced up and posted up over on our Facebook and across social media at 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. In the 7 o'clock hour, Mark Green with the Harvest Ministries, as well as representatives from the United States Postal Service, talking about the food drive, the letter carriers food drive happening this weekend. Make sure to put those bags of food out under your mailbox for your letter carrier to pick up and donate to the food banks. Peggy Bolin in the 8 o'clock hour with Camp Invention. Get your kids signed up quick at invent.org/camp, or call Miss Peggy. I can go back and check out that interview. And, of course, Ms. Joanne with the Chaves County Health Council here in the 9 o'clock hour. Check out that interview at your leisure over on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook page. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Mixmaster Mike back in this chair. I'll be back over there in the second banana seat on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. See you.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.